Oh, hiya, buddies! Welcome to Barn Burner here on the 17th day of the month of January.
Sure.
In the year of our Lord, the 2024s. Good to see you, and peace be to you. There's Pinder, there's Warner. I am Dean. As we get into it today, our buddy Jamie McLennan going to be joining us on the Insider Hotline for Telus. Always fun when Noodles joins us. Everybody loves Noodles. You know, he's just one of our favorite people, and I think he's one of hockey's favorite people. So we'll talk to Noodles and see what's going on. The Flames. We talked about it yesterday. I'm trying to remember because we did Afterburner last night and we did the show yesterday. The notion of maybe Craig Conroy is going to have to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. He's going to have to be kind of like a sous chef. He's going to have to be preparing multiple dishes here. So just in case the beef's overdone, we got to be able to have the chicken ready. And if the chicken's too dry, then we got to. If we're close to the playoffs, then we might have to do this. And if we fall right out of the race and we're going to be far away from the playoffs, then we got to do this. So what if we're kind of could be a little dicey, Retro. It's 4 straight wins now for the Flames after a 3-2 overtime win last night at the Dome. Everybody's excited. It was what do you call it? Armed Forces Military Night last night. It looked awesome. Afterwards, all the military folk on the ice with the team for the photo. It's one of the favorite nights of the year. Blake Coleman had a clip in the post game. He says, "Good teams find a way to win when they're not at their best." Suggesting that that's what the Flames did last night, and through 2 periods, they, safe to say, and I would agree with Mr. Coleman, with Rusty's son,
you're not going to quibble.
They were not at their best. Yeah, they were not at their best for about 40 minutes last night.
Flat, would you say?
Yes.
Yeah.
First game back. Give Arizona credit. They wanted to bore the crap out of the 18,000-ish in attendance, and they did a great job. They played a perfect opening road 40, I'd suggest. Don't allow much. Bore the hell out of the other team. Don't allow shots 5-on-5. Aside from going to the box a little too much, that's a pretty good road game for a Arizona club that got shelled 5 days ago by the Flames.
Yeah, I think the Flames had 7 shots halfway through the hockey game or whatever it was. They were
both at 7 shots into the
You know what they call that? Yeah. Low event hockey.
That sure is, yeah.
That was low event hockey. Let's do the opening statements for McLeod Law. Of course, our buddy Peter Klein. I assume he's got his energy back from the trip after the trip down to Arizona. He and his daughter had a heck of a good time. Yeah. Peter Klein. Whatever the case may be, it's you get into some legal issues and you need help. Who can you trust? You can trust McLeod Law. Calgary-based, they know what you need. They know who you are, what Calgarians are like, and how it works here. McLeod Law, McLeod-law.com if you want good people and the best people in the legal field on your side. The opening statements, Blake Coleman, speaking of which, 20 goals for Blake Coleman. We're not near, I guess we're closer than we were a game ago, but we're not at the end of the season.
They're 3 games past the midpoint. They're 3 games into the second half, and he's 2 off his career high. That's some good work there, Dino.
You know how we do those, what is that, bold predictions, which we didn't do this year?
Yeah.
Would anybody have picked Blake Coleman to be leading this team in goals or to be a threat to?
God, no. That's what I was reading in over the summer when I dug into the numbers and the
Mm-hmm. So I take that back. I guess I'll take.
Well, and I did do some bolds. You guys didn't pay attention.
Yeah, you said the Bills were going to draft a quarterback in the first round. I do remember that. That was bold. Give me that one.
Drafted yet, right?
Yeah.
No, I know. I'd still bold. I'm not saying it's unbold.
They saw Stroud play last weekend. They're changing that pay.
I think we all had some bold predictions after about the 7-game mark.
You know what? They weren't that bold at the time, but they're proving to be so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were bold.
Top 5 picks can change the organization.
Yeah, they were something. They may still be accurate. You never know. But there was a lot of they were horse bleep. This is to tear it down. It would be interesting to go back and just pull some. Now, look,
I don't know. Would it?
I don't think we do that.
It's not like they're a playoff team. They haven't accomplished anything yet. They're having a hell of a run. They're having a hell of a
They've got
season.
the worst. They've got the chance of the worst pick and not make the playoffs.
The worst possible
They could
spot
also
among
make the
a non-playoff
playoffs.
team.
This is they now have the 8th highest points percentage or chances of getting in the playoffs by a bunch of models. Now there's like a bunch of teams with them, so they're still more likely to miss than to make. But
what is it
again?
even?
Say, can you speak
in English?
8th and 7th.
So their playoff probability is 8th in the West. It's only 32%, but it's the 8th highest in the West.
I didn't do well in school.
This is not a show for you if you don't love math.
Science and math.
No, it's the way you're fixing. Oh, they have the 8th. Oh, 8th sounds good. It's 32%. Oh, well, that doesn't sound very good.
Those things are true, believe it or not. Yeah,
I know, but why would you use the non-English language? Like I think most of the people that listen to our show are dullards like ourselves and don't need the extravagant.
I'll try it again. There's 7 teams that are really good in the West, boys. Of the rest, Flames could be the best.
There you go. I get it. And even
very reasonable that they could finish first out of the rest of those bum teams.
And see, it's
and
not
one
about
playoff team, one playoff spot available for that group.
It's not about math. It's about how you're framing it. You know, of the shit, there's some of the best shit. I mean, 32%.
They're top.
They have a 32% chance today of being a playoff team.
And it would have been like 18 a few weeks ago, and they could be in a playoff spot by the All-Star break. This is we did not see this coming. Since that outdoor game, they're well above 500.
Could they be in a playoff spot if they win the next game?
I mean, there's lots of teams in there. They're in a large muddy pack. But yeah, it would be interesting if they're going to pause for 10 days, and for those 10 days they are sitting in a wild card by points percentage and points. Like that would be, I would think there'd be a lot of phone calls between Noah Hannafin's agent and Craig Conroy at that point.
Do you think this is? Do you think this is giving Hannafin some
leverage?
Maybe no, just rethinking things.
I think it makes more sense for everyone. If this team's good with him and he likes winning, I mean, that's way better than how things looked after the game in Edmonton outside, right? Where losing.
It sounded like he put a pause on the signing because
and I would have too. That team looked shitty.
Are bold. These guys are crap.
They were.
Now they're
go back and watch those first 10 games, 2-7-1.
Now they're at the top of the crap pile. They're right at the top of the crap heap now. Yeah. So they're doing better.
And when I say they're shit, I mean it's foul language. And I'm using that just to kind of, exaggerate to make a point. Anyway, we should not be talking about them in negative terms because they've been quite good as of late. I didn't think they were going to. I was sitting there halfway through, and I was going to text Pinder. What the hell are we going to talk about on the Afterburner tonight? Yeah. This is again low event. They're down. It's a 1-0 game as you head to the third, and it just looked like they were cooked. And whatever excuse you want to dial up, if you want to use excuse, reason, whatever. First game back, they're tired. The dads aren't there. Whatever. Their wives are back nagging them again, so they're whatever. It didn't really matter. It just looked like this was going to be a night. They're not at their best. It happens. And the Coyotes are better than they were a few nights ago. Yep. And then 2 goals in a minute 3, and you kind of start to shake your head. There's something about this group.
I'll interrupt you for 1 second. No. That second goal was lovely by Pospisil and Kadri. That takes 1 ounce of brain power from the defenseman of the Coyotes to stop.
Well, and it was the dummy that bent over, that folded up Pospisil or that Zary at the front of the net. So that was some sort of karmic justice there, wasn't it?
It was something, yeah. It's a hell of a play. It's a one-handed pass right through to the back door to a streaking Kadri. Everyone in the building and everyone watching knew this is the play they're going to try. He's not going to get around him, so he's going to just try and throw one at the net, and Kadri's going to try and get a stick on it. And the goalie didn't poke check it, and the D-man didn't stop him, and the other D-man didn't stop the pass, and Kadri banged it in.
And at the other end, it was similar where Dursey hits Cooley, but at least the stick was tied up in that one and it went in off a skate. That was Rasmus, I believe, that was tangled with him. You're at least you're doing part of the job. It goes in off a skate. It's like, well, fuck, that's a bad bounce.
Yeah.
But like they didn't tie up Kadri's stick at all. There's one guy that can hurt you there. That's it.
Not to take anything away from our buddy Pospisil, because that is a hell of a pass. That's it's the old. He'd be a hell of a pickleball player. I bet.
Highlight.
Like he's got wrist and forearm strength.
You ever play highlight?
I've not played highlight. Have you played highlight when you were in Miami? Because it's big down there, isn't it?
It's a big game, but I've not played it.
It's a card game, a sport. What are we?
Yeah, it's a card game.
Gotta have strong hands. Deal with the cards.
Yeah, that's right. When you're going all in and folding.
Cans dealing from the bottom. Watch out for that.
You can Google it. Kadri, Ryan kind of brought it up. We talked about it last night. You watch Kadri, and it's hard to fathom that this was the guy who looked so disinterested and disconnected at the end of the season last year. He was jumping on his tiptoes up and down in the crease last night when Sharon Gorovich scores the winner. When he scores that goal, he's like blown away. He's like, what a bleeping pass from Pospisil. He's been real good. That's now 10 points in a 7-game point streak. He has not gone. I threw that stat out and it would still be. He does not go more than a couple games without getting a point and getting back on the horse. He looks like the leader. He looks like kind of the gritty competitor, the guy that I'm sure Treliving thought he was getting when he signed him to that big contract.
Just a year late. Although, to be fair, he was an all-star last year. Had a good first half.
That's right.
Finished with 24 goals for a year. Everyone was down on him. You're like, probably
hangover?
Means a good year is closer to 30.
Cup hangover?
Well,
had a short off season for sure, but clearly he and Daryl weren't on the same page. We're not hearing the whole, this is vindicating Daryl. And clearly there's lots of issues and there was lots of pros of having Daryl and there was cons as well. But it's a group that likes showing up to the rink a lot more than they did last year.
Is there a cautionary tale to be found in this?
Spin the tale.
We've talked a lot. Give us the case here.
We attacked them pretty good and they proved us wrong, but they're still not in a playoff spot. Could they prove us wrong again by being, hey, these guys are the greatest?
Sure, they could. Yeah, and I don't even think we're saying they're the greatest. It's like, could they be the 8th best in the West? That's really what we're asking. And after a 2-7-1 start, it's like you have to play pretty well to get there.
Well, you have to play 8 games over 500.
Yeah, they were 5 under after that stretch.
That's quite a swing.
So, but again, if you have 5 points through your first 10 games and you got to say you get to 93 or something like that, that's a pretty decent pace you got to play at for the final 72, right?
Yeah. So cautionary tale both ways.
They could easily land in peak sadness here, fellas, which would be the highest draft selection of a non-playoff team, like highest as in biggest number.
Man, we had a chance at making the playoffs. Damn, that was fun.
And you could lock in on a guy like Hanifin at too much money because you were so keyholed on short-term success. And maybe you convince yourself that you don't trade Chris Tanev because he's so crucial to this defense core and you let him walk as a free agent. There's still all kinds of landmines that Craig Conroy can step on here.
Conroy's too smart for that. He knows better.
So.
He knows better. He's not stubborn. He's
but it's muddier now. It's way more difficult now because
it's a harder sell to ownership, isn't it, Rhett?
That's what I think it is, right?
It's a harder sell to ownership, and you do have to go, okay, if I trade him and we do miss the playoffs and Tanev, and I get a second in return, is a second worth falling out of a playoff spot? No,
owner will say no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
He will say no. Yeah.
Owner would say no. And
I think the owner's right at that
nerds
point.
Find the value of a second round pick, it's probably less than playoff revenue. But if you get a prospect in 2 seconds, now it's like, probably have to take the other side of that one. Like, we don't know what the market is for him, right?
Nope.
Those are our opening statements for McLeod Law. Peter Klein, he's the personal injury guy. He's also your disability insurance guy. If that disability insurance company is refusing to pay those benefits, get a hold of Peter. He'll get you those benefits that you paid for and deserve. He's got your back, and that's a good feeling when you have the best in the business on your side. McLeod-law.com. McLeodLaw.com, social media at McLeod Law LLP. We go to the insider hotline. This guy, looking for always looking forward. People love this guy. It's like, when's Noodles coming on? I love Noodles. The insider hotline is a presentation of TELUS. TELUS has been a proud partner of the Calgary Flames since 2005. There's Jamie McLennan. How are we doing, Noodles?
What's up, guys? I heard the spirited debate going on about, now I'm coming in late, but is it because the team is winning lately? Now, what the hell do you do with some of these players, correct?
19, 11, and 4 since that miserable outdoor game that had them off to a 2-7-1 start. That's a tidy run of play.
Yeah, I mean, I did the game, I was in studio with that, what felt like a month ago. Was that last week? Like literally it felt
Tuesday.
Like for me, I've been in 8 different places since. I was in Ottawa last night, flew back to Toronto this morning. But you know what? Like, I was thinking about it. You've infused some young players already in. So this is you're kind of having not the retool on the fly, not what the New York Rangers did, but remember the Rangers they sent out that letter.
Yeah.
Hey guys, nothing to see here for the next 4 years. We're doing we're going to do a rebuild, and they were able to turn it pretty quickly. And now Shester can help with that because, he had the all-world season, and they went and signed Panarin, and they had some,
arrived. Yeah.
Yeah. They had some player pieces. I would argue that Connie still has to, I heard the second rounder argument because you're right. Like, what is the value of that? And there's an actual analytic value of like, okay, this second rounder has a chance to, 21% chance of playing and all of that stuff. I've heard this argument too. I mean, is Iggy the greatest player in Flames history? I would say he is, right?
He's the greatest Flame. Yeah.
Okay. I can't remember. What did they get for Iggy?
Nothing.
First and 2 college prospects. Nothing panned out. Kenny Agostino, Ben Hanowski, and a pick that turned into Morgan Klimchuk.
So the Hockey News can't find any 3 of those guys, right? Like, it's literally
not in the NHL.
So like that's where I'm thinking, like, and I'm not advocating to keep these players, but I'm trying to figure out as to what is the marketplace, and then what do you get for them to fill the team if you're that close to the playoffs.
If you're 1911 and whatever moving forward, you go in on this team is my thoughts, and you don't worry.
Jesus.
But I also think, and I said it the last 2 days, I also think it's a committee team with a hell of a goaltender, which you've seen work before. And I think you can actually move even a Lindholm we talked about yesterday and the day before. He's good. He's real good, but he's not 9 million good. I think you can move that guy and do another trade, or in that process, bring a guy in to slot in as another centerman and fill that spot and still have just as good a chance in the playoffs, because Lindholm's not wowing you with offensive ability. He's not going to run your power play. He's not a focal point for the other team to shut down. He's just a real solid, real good player. Well, they've got Kadri, they've got Backlund, and if they can get just another guy that can play, I think you can move a couple of these pieces and not cut your feet out as far as making the playoffs.
I don't disagree, because what you're looking at is what Lindholm brings, and then what is the next guy who comes in? How much is that gap, if at all? I mean, and recency bias. I did the Ottawa Colorado game last night, and then I watched the Flames Arizona, and like Bowen Byram, like, he's available, right? I think, right? Like, I mean, you hear whispers that Colorado wants to beef up their up front, and he might be a guy that could be an odd man out just based on, like, Makar's not going anywhere. Gerard's come back and he looked really good. Devontae's is there. Like, they might just have a lot of defensemen that they could part with. I'm not saying Lindholm for Bowen Byram. I'm not trying to patch anything, but what I'm saying is there are trades out there that can help your team get better with some of these players that we're talking about. The Tanevs, the Lindholms, who else? Hannafin. I don't know. I think at some point you do have to sign. If you had to sign one of them, Is it Hannafin?
He's
For
younger.
me, it is.
Yeah.
And they need D more badly. I do think it's a little bit silly to suggest that you could just have some guy tossed in a deal that could play 21 minutes like last night. Lindholm
But you
did.
don't need 21 minutes. You're not looking for exact. You're looking for.
Well, and Lindholm,
Right. So you could
Lindholm's not
get a
spare
third
change.
line center, but it's going to be a drop from Lindholm to the guy you get tossed in that deal. Let's just acknowledge that.
100%.
Yeah.
Like what you probably would do is ask Kadri to kind of slide into different roles. You'd ask Backlund to, absorb either some of those minutes or some of that responsibility. But it is, I would argue this record, what did you say, 19, 11, and 4? Let's just
34 games since that outdoor
19,
game.
11, and 4. Was Lindholm the catalyst, or is he just a good player and part of it?
Just a player and part of it.
Right.
And for a lot of it, he's never been a bad player.
No.
He's not a focal player, though. Oh, hopefully he can hear us
Oh,
at
dear.
least.
Did Jack just kill him? Jack just arrived here. Jack's alive, guys.
Did Jack kill
I
him?
got a Jack update. He's alive. Did you kill Noodles, Jack? What happened? Jack, is he?
He's there.
Did Noodles die?
There he is.
There he is. He's back. Okay, resurrect.
Sorry, guys. Continue.
Lindholm's been okay for most of it and good for part of it.
Right. So, I mean, like if this is a by committee team, what you do is you plug and play, but you're asking somebody else to absorb some of his minutes or some of his responsibility, and you put the pieces together. I butchered the guy's name. He scored the game winner last night. What's Sharangovich?
You got it.
Nailed it.
There's guys where I look on my sheet and I'm like, I hope he does nothing tonight because I don't want to say his name on TV because I can't do it. Like last night.
A rough month for that. Everyone's saying his name a lot.
Well, I know, and he's been awesome. But Sharangovich, there's a guy that you find value in a trade where, Toffoli had a career high and he was at the peak there, and you go younger, maybe a chance, somebody who needs an opportunity to expand, somebody who's maybe not in a top 6 who could get a top 6. The biggest lesson learned on some of this stuff is, William Karlsson, players like that, and Riley Smith that went in expansion, they got bigger roles. If you can find, and that's where your pro scouting has to be dialed in, is who around the league on some of these teams that are valuing the players that you are willing to sell. How are these young prospects going to help your team, and maybe with opportunity? Sharangovich was a prime example. He scored 20 a couple of years back, wasn't going to be on the first power play. They've kind of pushed past him. Now he slides in. He looks like a pretty good player for the Flames.
So let's think about this then. Boston's been linked to Lindholm, whether that's real or just us seeing a fit. Ditto Colorado. You mentioned Byram in Colorado. Okay. How about this Poitras kid or whatever his name is in Boston that made the team, that went to the World Juniors? He's a center. There's a deal where the guy can come in and give you center ice minutes, and you've got another theoretical decade of him as a pro, not, the expensive 30 plus years that Lindholm's going to be getting on his next deal. Like, would that be a framework that makes sense to you?
It would, but here's the thing. I'll be honest. I feel like, is that too much? Like, what's Lindholm's value? He's a rental. Like you'd have to have an extension in place or something. Boston's not giving him $9 million. Like, you know what I mean? Like
no one's giving him 9. He knows that too. Like that ship sailed. Yeah.
So,
Boston, they'd be doing the reverse that Calgary would be doing. So here's Poitras. How far are we going to Lindholm?
Right now, like their windows now, though, right? Like
I know
it's Marchand and McAvoy. Like they don't have.
No, I get it. I understand. I still think Boston, I swear to God, I saw Patrice Bergeron skating the other day. I swear to God, he's just showing up at the deadline and going, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll play for the stretch here. Yeah. I swear to God, he's doing that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I've seen him more than often skating. Like I've just kind of, he's around the dressing room. The guys, there's always on Twitter, like it's, Boston, hey, there's Bergeron in the room. I'm like, what the hell's he doing? He's retired.
He was dropping the puck at the game the other night. He was dropping the puck. That's all. It's just ceremonial. Yeah.
But I agree. Like there is a marketplace for him. I think Colorado would be a fit. I think Boston. I think there's several teams.
If a hockey trade's available, like I don't know, is Byram for Lindholm a trade that anyone would make, or is
I don't think Colorado would make that trade. I
Yeah,
don't.
and then other people are saying it'd be Byram plus. Like, we really don't know. Byram's a good, young, toolsy defenseman.
I would
that's
make
exactly what the Flames
if I'm
need.
the Flames, I make that trade all day because I think you fill a hole with that, and then you can deal with Hannafin from a position of strength if he
Also,
wants
Tanev,
to.
yeah.
Right.
But I guess my point is Lindholm is a rental. I think Byram's worth more. That's my point. Is I think Byram is going to be, if he's not, I think he's a top pairing.
All right, I've got a deal. Lindholm and Vladar for.
There you go. Byram.
The thing about it with Colorado would be too,
don't know what
though,
their
is they've
goalies
been so good.
Yeah.
We know that maybe Byram is going to be a great player and Byram for Lindholm, but what makes us better right now this year?
They got to win a cup. That's what they're chasing. They're not worried about who's going to be better in 4 years, right? We see teams do
but
this
it's
every
what other
single
teams
year.
are offering as well, too, right? It's not like they've only got one team to negotiate with, so
Yeah.
they can go and say, "Hey, who wants Byram?" And the Florida Panthers call and they say, "Yeah, we do. We'll give you this and this."
First number or whatever. Like
They don't want picks, maybe, but whatever it is, they're going to take anyway.
The thing about sorry, Jay, I was going to say the thing about this is, and you've been on this show, so you know this.
Right.
We're very smart.
So
We're very smart, and we're always right.
Yeah, always.
So here's the thing, and I talk to Red every single day, and there's a line that you cross, and we talk about it where Conroy will be on this same line where it's, I know the team's playing well, but I know what they are. It's great that they're winning games, but we're going to be rebuilding. And then you get a little bit closer, and it's maybe this team's playing a little bit better than even I thought, but I still know that that's great. They're playing well. I'm happy for the coach, first year coach. This is so great for Huska. But watching Rhett the last few days, the last week to 10 days, with how well this team is playing, and it's not just results, it's how they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, am I rethinking what I think about this team? Because just the three of us across the board, we're all right. And I put myself there too. They're good, but we're rebuilding. You watch what they did last night. Yes, it's Arizona, but still 2 goals when they look dead and buried. Came back, tied it, went to overtime, great shot, win. Went into Arizona, pumped them. Went into Vegas. Yes, Vegas is shorthanded, was by far and away the better team on the ice. I'm just wondering, I think we're all wondering, is this team better than we thought? And you don't need to be the number 1 seed. Look at Boston last year. There's a lot of, you can be a 5 or a 6 or whatever and get in. And with goaltending, holy shit, what can happen?
What you just said is the key there too. All that stuff, they're playing well, and they got the Vezina goaltender. When did Florida start to play well? They snuck in, they're down 3-1, and all of a sudden the Bobbers showed up and he kicked some ass for almost 2 months.
No, I mean, I've said it a million times. This league should just be called goalie, because if you got one, you're in good shape. If you don't, then you watch your team just melt every night and you try and outscore the problems. I think that the balance, or the debate we always have right here, is you do the on paper test. Like I always used to do the whiteboard test. You walk into a manager's office and he's got his roster on a whiteboard, and then he's got everybody else's roster on the whiteboard. So when you start to do the overlay, the matchups, okay, are they better than Team X, Team Y, all of that? But you have to be playing better. And that's what Rhett's coming back to. In 2004, you had 2 superstars, and then it was by committee. You had some really, really good players, right? So the goalie's going to give you a chance. I didn't hear the report. Like, is he playing tomorrow, or is he like out a couple days?
It's day to day, so it seems minor. They're being cautious, I'd suggest.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, like, the goalie gives you a chance, and this team is gelling, and it's all right for players. Like, look, Blake Coleman's come to life. Like, you look at some of the players, like, he helps Tampa win a Stanley Cup. Like, there's a reason why, like, he's a hell of a player. And maybe it took him a while to settle in here, but like he's really showing what he's capable of. Like, I think they're better than people are giving them credit for, but how much better? That's my question.
And I think this week is a great week to figure that out. They got Toronto, and then they got, Edmonton on Saturday night. Okay, boys, things are great. Beat them.
It'd be
Yeah.
nice to have Markstrom for that test too, right? I don't
Sure
know that they're
would.
going to,
Sure
but
would.
yeah.
Well, it would be nice to have Markstrom. Like he needs to get over the Edmonton thing, and that's, that would help because I'm you guys know I'm a huge Markey fan. I love the guy. I think he's a hell of a goaltender. And I hope that he's all right because they should need him. They're going to get a pissed off Leaf team, and I'm in Toronto. I can see the fire burning outside my window right now. So
4 blown leads in a row. If people aren't up to speed,
we have
been
a thing on our show. We have a thing on our show called the underpants cam, where a 0 is no skid mark and a 50 is a skid mark.
50
in Toronto right now, the underpants cam is at a 50. There are skid marks left and right because it's just people are just perplexed at what's going on. So I don't know, but the Leafs will be a crabby team tomorrow, and you're right. This is a big test for them. These, you're passing markers. You go into Vegas. Vegas is shorthanded. Doesn't matter. Whoever you play, you've got to beat. But that's right. They were dead in the water last night. That kind of looked like a game that they lose 3-1.
Well, and those are the games that kill you at the end of the year.
Right.
It was, you can almost go, yeah, well, they're a little flat. They were on the road. They've been playing well. It's just one of those games. But you give up those 2 points and come April, you go, son of we just lost to Chicago. We come home. Arizona's better than probably we give them credit for, but still a team where you're thinking if we want to climb and get in a playoff spot, we got to have the 2 points. They're sitting there 2-0, down 2-0 with half a period left, and they tie it and win it in overtime. Those 2 points are massive. Those are the ones that add up at the end of the year that you maybe didn't think you were going to have, that give you that chance to get in.
Well, but it comes back to, the debate we're having. Do you continue on? And there is some time still for Connie to sort through this, right? It's a nice stretch here. Maybe they continue to climb and they even gel more, or maybe there's we'll call it a market reset where you're like, okay, we kind of know they're going to be on the cusp. I still think you can have the best of both worlds. You can still trade players, but bring in younger guys to push up.
What do you think they have to do, though? Because last year and the years prior, we've seen, so if you go back over the history, last 20 years of the Flames, Iginla leaves for zip. Giordano leaves for zip. Kiprasov leaves for zip. They've never got anything returned, and there's no guarantees even when you make a trade that you're going to get pieces that fit in, like the Iginla. But what we did learn is you can't let guys like Gaudreau walk for nothing. Right. Giordano walk for nothing, right? Connie has to do something.
Yeah.
He can't go into the playoffs with this squad of unrestricted guys and just go, yeah, well, we were going for it.
Right.
He's made the statement himself.
He said the same thing himself in his press conference.
What is he going to do?
Well, I think there is there internal competition for guys pushing through?
There's 2 guys in the minors that aren't playing. Pelche and Coronado aren't even up, and they're supposed to be relied on, I think, to be pretty integral moving forward.
The challenge is the blue line, where it's Tanev and Hanifin is 2 free agents, and Shillington's played 1 game. That's a tough guy to say, oh, he's going to be you're
that's
just
why that's
playing. And there's no one else that I think can do anything close to top 4 minutes. You can have some guys playing 5-6 minutes, but there's no one else that can play top 4 right now.
For me, it's a handcuff situation, because if that Bowen Byram, I think he's a hell of a player, and I think he would be a great fit for a blue line here in Calgary.
I just wonder why is Colorado talking with trading this guy? They know him more than anyone else. This is a little weird.
I don't think we've got the cart in front of the horse. They're not looking to trade him.
I think what it is there's been chatter as to if Colorado is going to be serious and try and get a second line center.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because they're dealing, that's the position of strength for the Colorado Avalanche. They can get rid of Byram and not really get roasted because they got those other guys there already.
Yeah, that's I think it's more like that's a really shiny trade chip.
Yeah.
Right. Whether Joe Sakic just hangs up the phone when somebody calls, I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes. It's just you hear these rumblings and our insiders are talking about it stuff. So you're like, okay, maybe there is. Maybe people are just calling going, hey, is he available? Bowen Byram's had some injury issues as a young player, so that would be a red flag. But Pinder, coming back to what you're saying, if D is at a premium and they don't have much coming through, doesn't that make Hanifin more attractive to keep?
Yeah, he's the youngest, and he creates the hardest thing to replace. Yeah, it's hard to imagine his minutes going to someone that's here right now. It's a lot.
Right.
We've gone back
Especially
and
if you're
forth
trading Tanev.
on Hanifin so often over the last couple of years. Like,
But
what does he do well? Does he do anything well? And then you come back, God, he skates really well.
What
and
has he done
plays
well
a lot
this
of
year?
minutes. Well, he's put some points up.
He's been awesome. Like he's the one guy that, like, well, there's not that many, but you're thinking Lindholm's going to have a great contract. Hanifin's having a great contract year.
Yeah. And God love Chris Tanev. I love him. I wish he was 28.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
He's not.
Totally.
Right.
That's the thing, because they've already traded away Zadorov and haven't really replaced him. Even there's a guy named Dennis Gilbert. He's not playing right now. So you've got a lot of guys. It's Nick DeSimone and Osterley, some guys that
Solovyov, Kuznetsov,
really playing too many minutes.
It gets thin. It gets thinner for sure. But that's where Connie, he's got to be either creative, or the team that is, put it this way, if the team that is coveting these players, Connie can replace it. If he decides, I'm going to move Lindholm to Team X, but I'm going to move Tanev to another team. I'm going to grab a defenseman from this team and a forward from, like, you got to mix and match. And it doesn't have to, not all of them have to be live bodies if you do have kids pushing through that deserve to be on the roster.
Well, who can feels like something a guy should know. Who's got no move clauses and can say no to a move? And we talk about signing guys, it ain't up to Connie. Yeah. Right? Like if Hanifin and Lindholm are going, well, I'm not signing, and
Hanifin's got an 8 team, Tanev's got a 10 team. Those are no trades.
Yeah. But
Lindy's got no trade protection, so you can send him wherever you want.
But us saying we have to sign Hanifin, which I think they should. If they could get him signed, I think they should. He's played well enough. He's young enough. And I think if it doesn't work out down the road, he's an asset you could still move to get pieces whenever you want. Because
if the salary's right, yeah.
Yeah.
You're the worst, because you always say the salary has to be right, but then the salary cap's going up, so the salaries aren't going to hurt.
No, I agree with you, right? Like, he's the safest of the 3 to sign, but that doesn't mean he gets a blank check. Like, at what number do you say no? This is the tough spot for Connie, right? It's not saying we'll commit to him. It's at what number is like, oh, that's too much. Now I can't trade him down there. I don't know.
What number would make that Bluetooth pop right off your head?
Anything 7.5, I don't like. Like, he's nowhere near what Devin Taves is, and Taves got less than that. And
but you always say it's Taves signed when, and now it's like everything.
He signed a couple months ago, Rhett, and it was in
Colorado.
And he's a better
Taves. Is that a fair comparable? That's a great deal for Colorado, quite likely.
It is, yes, and they do great deals. And
so can you compare? Can you compare every deal to a terrific deal that's been signed? I don't know.
I just think if you're giving him 7.5, it's an overpay. That's all. I mean, I think it's close. I mean, could you live with 7? Oh, I'd love 7. So we're getting there, right?
The other thing too is, and I know this, people don't want to hear this, but Canadian market,
Calgary tax,
like I say it, but you guys know I love Calgary. I've spent so much time there. I grew up in Edmonton, played junior in Lethbridge. Like, I'm an Alberta boy through and through. Alberta's not for everybody. Like, that's the thing. If you're putting your hand up,
it's the coldest place on the planet 3 days ago.
I know. Isn't Hanifin an American kid, right? He's from Boston area. Yeah. Now, Boston gets cold in that. But again, you look at some of these things, I call them cold weather tax or, market tax. Like, Ottawa has to pay that. Winnipeg has to pay that. Edmonton has to pay that. Now, Edmonton could sell the Golden Goose right now. But
they haven't. They should be.
Well, they should be. You're right.
They got 3 more years of Kane at 5+. What are they doing? Make him play for free to play with McDavid.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, Calgary, you might have to, if you feel like Hanifin's a $6 million defenseman or 6.5, it might be $1 million more to play in Calgary, just based on you. And we had a free agent that wanted to stay here. You got to sell that narrative too. That's the way I would look at it. Is this guy wanted to be here. He had options. We were going to trade him, but you know what? He made the commitment. Yes, we've given him a lot of money, but at the end of the day, he's made the commitment to stay with our organization. which, Jonathan Huberdeau signed that deal without even playing a second for the Flames, but it was $10.5 million. So there you go.
At what number do you say no is kind of the question I'm asking. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, where do you get worried about it? And for me, it's around 7.5.
But you know what? You mentioned it there. It's probably one of those things where you start to kind of parse it out and say, well, if I like 7, am I that upset with 7.5? And then
It's
if
close,
it's 7,
right?
7.6, 7.7, well, you're getting close to 8 now, and I don't like 8. I don't know. I'm with you. If you've got a guy that wants to be here, that you're impressed and happy with his play, you like the guy's willing to stay. We'll call it Alberta, Canada, Calgary tax, whatever it is. It's the devil, I think I'd rather spend that money on Hanifin than get that money back, whatever it is, 4.9, I think he makes per year, and going to July 1, looking for a guy that can play those minutes and play that well.
Yeah. No.
And
for $7 million. I don't know.
And it gets it. We can go round the clock a million times on this, but if you're letting him go and you don't have guys to fill that spot, you've got that open, then sell everyone, which I'm fine with too.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Like if you're going to sell Hanifin, everyone else has to go
Sell
because you're
it.
not going to be good enough.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're cutting
And not
your leg
everyone,
off.
but the free agents, right?
Yes, move everyone and get assets, and that's fine. And go a little bit younger and see what happens. Totally cool. I'm fine.
And this is what's so hard about this, like serve the master of make playoffs, but also serve the master of get younger and retool. Like this is a
to
really,
serve the
really tough spot.
master. I think to serve the master, the only move you can make is that Lindholm one and a Tanev one. And if Vladar he played pretty good last night. If he can become an asset for you and move him and have Wolf come up, but you're not going to be able. I don't think, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's the mandate from above. Will be you can make some moves, but in no uncertain terms are you allowed to empty the barrel and start from scratch. Like you're 2 points out of a playoff spot. We're not throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
And you would expect Wolf and some of the players that come up to help bridge that gap and keep them right there and keep them competitive right down the stretch.
Rhett brought this up yesterday, and you're a goalie, so I'm preaching to the choir here. But we all went down to Phoenix for the game on Thursday against the Coyotes, and Markstrom was great. And then I slid over to Vegas to watch that game, and I was telling the guys, I've been to Vegas a few times now. I've never seen the crowd that out of a game. Rhett mentioned it yesterday. There's something about when your goalie is on and when he's playing great, you just play with a little bit more swagger. Rhett used the term light. Like they were making plays. They were moving the puck around. They were having fun. It looked like it was kind of a scrimmage out there. It's twofold. Being in that crowd, you could tell that the Flames knew Markstrom was on, and so did the Golden Knights. It felt like we're just not going to score on this guy. And then Anderson pissed the puck away, and they scored on a pretty little on a giveaway. But outside of that, Markstrom was near perfect. You weren't going to beat him that night. And the further along we go, you just remember, like you say, you remember Bobrovsky and what he did, or just what any goalie does when you get into the playoffs. And we watch number one seeds, you think they're going to cruise, and a lot of times those number one seeds have a hell of a time doing it. It is very much the age of get in, chip in a chair. Get us in
Seattle
there. And
beat Colorado last year, fellas. Seattle beat Colorado.
Right? Let's scrap it out. I just can't believe we're having this conversation. I don't know what happened last year with Markstrom. I don't know what's going on this year, but they're two different guys, completely different guys in that crease.
You know what? It's confidence is a drug. And if you get it, and it's like I come back. I'm doing these Ottawa games right now. They're a immature, fragile team.
Yeah.
It hurts my soul because watching Brady Tkachuk, I love that man. Like he's an animal. He's an unbelievable player. Timmy Stützle just turned 22. Jake Sanderson is a superstar in my opinion. They've got some pieces there that are going to be bargains at $8 million a year for the next 6, 7, 8 years. But they're going through the process. So I look at them. Last night, they're up 4-2 on Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like Colorado isn't like flex their muscle yet. Like it was just McCarr had played 30 minutes the night before, and he was kind of like, am I in this one or not? And then he just makes a little play here, little play. Rantanen just decides nobody's gonna get near the puck with me. McKinnon turns it up. Like, they just flex their muscle, and you could see if this was a balloon, the air was coming out of it. Like, it was just, and I felt bad because I said to our producer on the talk back at 4-3, I said, I'm worried because you could see it come. So you talk about Markstrom, same thing. I've been around goaltenders, Rhett, you saw Kipper. Our team played so much different with Kipper in the net compared to McLennan. You knew exactly, like, the drop off was, and honestly, my best game, believe me, I was proud of my career, all of that. But Mika Kiprusoff was a special player. And it's rare that there's special players in that position nowadays. Markstrom is a top-tier goaltender. He has the top-tier talent. 6'6", good feet, good glove hand, handles the puck, has a good demeanor in the net. Like, he checks a lot of boxes. Yes, he didn't play well last year. And, in Vancouver, he was their MVP for 2 years. Came, had an off year, then was brilliant with Darryl, was Vezina finalist. Like, goaltending's a fickle position, but I look at the raw skill. Markstrom's as, he's one of the top-tier guys. So when they have that force field around them, you're like, it doesn't matter what we're doing in front of him. This guy's going to give us a chance. And that's what I'm seeing out of Markstrom right now.
I've told this story before numerous times over the years. I'm playing in Buffalo. I got traded to Buffalo. It's 1999. We're playing Ottawa in the first round, and that Ottawa lineup had everyone. Yeah. Alfredson, Hose,
Havlet.
It was deep and good. And I can remember sitting in the room in Ottawa before game one, looking around in the dressing room, putting the skates on, going from player to player, going, holy shit, like, we're hooped. Like, how are we even in the same spot as these guys? Like, how are we going to beat these guys? And honestly, it was like it's in a movie in my head. I'm scanning the room, and oh yeah,
that guy.
That's how we're going to do it. And I was looking at Hasek, and the whole room knew that's how we were going to do it. And I think in the first game, he made 42 saves.
Yeah.
Like, it's infectious, and it's what you just said. The confidence comes. Look around the room. You're like, how the fuck am I going to, like, how are we going to shut these guys? Oh, yeah. This guy. He real good.
But you can see it now, and I'll go back, even watching that Oiler team, the start of the year, they couldn't get a save. They couldn't get anything. And you could just see the bench just sag.
Play different.
You can see benches sag when they don't trust what's going on in between the pipes. Like, it's like, we can't, and it's almost like there's like that unwritten rule. They look at each other on the bench, go, guys, we got to play a safe game here. We can't, play a high risk game. We got to give up 15 shots tonight, and that might not even get it done if you don't trust what's going on in between the pipes. Believe me, I've seen that look. I've witnessed it. I've been that look. I've nowadays, when I'm in between the benches, I can see the sagging, and it's an unwritten thing. But I don't know how many teams, like, goalies are going to give up goals. It's the timely saves. Like, you just know, hey, I give up a bad chance at goalie. He's there for me. Now I go and relax and play. I don't know. I don't know how many.
Even the emotion of it, Noodles. You know what it's like. You're on the bench and there's a slight turnover. It's not even a bad play, but the other team has just above average scoring opportunity because of it. Yeah. And your whole emotion and your whole demeanor as a team and as a person is different when you've got a Vezina caliber goalie in net as opposed to just a regular goalie.
Yeah,
regular goalie. Holy, you tighten up, and there's like you expend energy worrying about it.
Hold your breath, going,
yes.
Are we going to get a save here on a routine shot?
Yeah, then the guys on the ice they're feeling it too. So subconsciously, they're like, I got to clear the puck immediately, because if I leave it laying around, so then you don't make the play that's there. You just get the damn thing and clear it, and then the snowball starts. And instead of playing the game, you're just playing like a 44 used to.
So you need to give us the punchline last night, because you didn't give us it, Noodles. The Sens were up 4-2. What was the final score against Colorado?
7-4 for
Oh.
Colorado.
Worst lead in hockey.
That's 5 unanswered if you need help with math.
Well, there was an empty netter, so but
Well, that's still a goal. Yeah.
it's still a goal. But
If you're up 4-2 and there's an empty netter, it should be yours, right? We're on the same page there.
I don't know if you guys remember the Louis Domingue got thrown into the playoffs in that quadruple like overtime. Wasn't he with the Rangers? And I think they threw him in there. And they asked him afterwards. He did a walk-off. I think it was against Pittsburgh, and they said like, were you nervous? Were you guys eating? And he said, we had the spicy pork and beef or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Pork and broccoli.
right.
Yeah. Spicy pork and broccoli. Not the best.
and he goes, not the best.
Not the best.
That's what I was watching last night. At 4-2 and then 4-3 and then 4-4, 5-4, 6-4. I'm like, this is Louis Domingue. Not the best.
Jeez.
So what does the color analyst do in those situations to kind of spin the positive narrative?
Well, honestly, like there was one game in Vancouver just before I came to Calgary. They were losing 5-0, 17 minutes into the game.
Right.
You turn the broadcast into a podcast. You just start talking about anything, because if people are watching, like think of this: if you're in Ottawa and you're stayed up to watch that, it's a Vancouver 7:30 start. That's a 10:30 start, and you're down 5 Cobb, 15 minutes. The people that are still hanging around to watch, you got to entertain them. And believe me, that we haven't had a podcast game in a while where it's been a blowout, where you just start talking about the weather and talking about other stuff, because you're like, you can't break down all these plays. Last night, the Sens were up, literally. What is going on? Is that a blizzard?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, there's a lot of travel bans going on.
I was going to say it's a travel ban. I saw one of the play-by-play guys. He's like, I'm not sure if we're going to have the Sabres game tonight because we're not allowed to
It
travel.
got postponed. Didn't you just see the email?
Did it come out? Yeah.
Yeah, it got postponed. So
Could have moved anywhere, right?
yeah,
Buffalo, eh?
You're
yeah,
on mute there,
exactly.
Retro.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry. I just you said weather, so I had to show the weather.
No, but that's the stuff. Like for the most part, it's been very competitive. But it's a game like that, like Colorado and they were in a back-to-back situation. You knew they were pissed off. They'd lost in Montreal the night before. You're like, okay, they're going to be in one tonight, and they found a way. They played this guy Justus Annunen. Now, Annunen's it's his like 4th career game, and of course he stands on his head. So I saw
Only
him
allowed 4 Noodles. Only 4.
Yeah, he only gave up 4 and stood on his head, but that's the game. So yeah, I didn't want to bury the punchline there, or but I just it was a rough night, 7-4. So we'll see how it goes against Montreal tomorrow. I'm flying back to Ottawa and doing that game tomorrow.
Makes those young guys tougher, makes the broadcasters tougher too, Noodles. You're a better man for it, right? When things finally turn around and the Senators are winning all these games, it's these tough times that you'll look back on and really now be able to enjoy the games.
Well, I'm glad that we've solved the life's problems for the Calgary Flames in the 45 minutes I've been here.
Well, Conroy doesn't do anything. He tunes into the show and just follows our lead. So he will, if you ever need him to accomplish something, just
say hi to him right now. You don't even have to call him.
Yeah, we got him on speed dial. He's been tuning in, exactly. But honestly, there is lots of work to be done. But you know what? The more they win, you're almost stealing from a position of strength. You can hold on. You can kind of like I like this. I think that's what the focus should be, is Sharon Povich and guys like that. Zary, and is that his name?
Sharon Govich. Yeah, you're close.
Govich.
What did I call him? Maria Sharon.
Yeah, Maury Povich. Yeah,
do with that.
Yeah.
And I do play
Can we get Maria here?
I do color.
Put her on the power play.
That's why you want those guys to be like, I don't want that guy to touch the puck tonight. Yeah. And of course he scores the OT winner. And that was a rocket of a shot. Like that kid could shoot the puck.
Yes, he can.
Yeah. Good for him.
Are you at the casino? Quick shoe at the blackjack table before?
No, I'm at home in my home office there. There's me and Grant Fear.
Yeah, there you are.
There's my craft dinner box that I was on the back of a craft dinner box in 1994. I don't know if you guys,
Those great heights to hear.
Wow.
How about
Yeah.
that?
That's
Well,
Noodles.
I mean,
There's a
it's
tie-in.
noodles, yeah.
Did you take the cheese out of it and use it? Is that why it's all
I
wrapped
haven't
up?
eaten it yet. I probably be pretty good, don't you think? 1990. My Nana bought a whole case of them.
Yeah.
And I found like 3 of them still. So I've got a few of them on my shelf.
Your kids, when they get older, they're gonna get drunk, come home hungry.
Exactly.
There we got some.
Or their
Yeah.
dad will be out by the pool and get all hammered up, and
Yeah.
I come in and make some craft dinner, some 1994 craft dinner. It would be
Rhett's
awesome.
got a full box in his basement, but that's his doomsday food. That's if when the world ends, he's gonna eat it.
So that's
tomorrow if it keeps snowing.
yeah. Nice to see you cash in on the big endorsement deal with the whole noodles thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's good. I like
I
it.
love it. I mean, like I said, I'm disappointed I didn't pull up the Cove soda, but I had my protein shake here, so that's
There
what
you
it is. So we're all good.
All right, James. Appreciate you, pal. Have a good
Hey
week.
guys.
There he is, Jamie
See ya.
McLennan, joining us on the Insider Hotline, a presentation of TELUS. Enter to win one of 6 monthly prizes, including tickets to Calgary hockey games, awesome tech like AirPods, Apple Watches, and more. No purchase necessary. All you have to do is fill out a quick survey to enter. For your chance to win, go online, telus.com/flames contest. Thank you, TELUS. You know, one of the other things kind of lost in here, you talk about who do you keep, who do you trade, who do you sign, all of this. Their power play continues. Now, the game winner is on a power play in overtime. Their power play continues. I just looked, they're still 28th, 13.7%.
Yeah, I was watching that game last night. That's what I was thinking about. I was like, this team's playing really well. If you could add 5% success to that power play, you are
Yeah.
now it's not tight all the time. You've got like it would make a huge difference.
Well, last
Pinder,
night they're down 1-0, and it's a shorty that's got them down 1-0, right? It's your own power play that surrendered the goal, and they were 0 for 4 at one point before overtime. You're thinking, shit, if they lose this is entirely a game that they should have won if their power play is just okay.
Yeah. You said it like it was either last week or yesterday or whatever it was. They're not getting blown out.
No,
They're
they
even
haven't
in
been at
games
all.
that they lose, they're kind of right there. If your power play, Christ, they've scored 10 shorthanded goals and 19 power play goals.
It's wild.
How the hell? They're offensively challenged only on the man advantage. I don't know where they are in terms of goals for in the NHL league wide, but I said it yesterday. They're having some success offensively. I don't know how sustainable it is, but they're finding ways to score. There's some chemistry between the lines, but the friggin' power play continues to be an issue, and it's going to be a real issue if they continue to have some success in the win column here.
They are exactly middle of the pack in goals for in this league. 3.16. They're tied with Florida. That's 15th and 16th in the league.
Yeah. So you would expect, well, our power play should at least be middle of the pack, I guess. I don't know how you qualify it or quantify it, but
yeah, it's been bad. I've liked it a lot more.
It's been better lately for
I,
sure.
I think it was tough to delete Huberdeau for one game there because they had a little mo, I thought, going. And last night, I didn't mind the power plays in the first period, but after that, it was just, ugh. Can't even gain the zone.
Yeah. Sharon Govich can shoot the puck.
Well, give it to him then, Savvy.
We said it last
How
night
effing hard
on
is it?
Afterburner.
Jay,
They go into they get a power play with 1:57 left. It's a 4-on-3. Igor Sharangovich doesn't shoot the puck until the game's over. That was his first shot. It's like, how are you not running everything through his shot? He's your best finisher. It's a 4-on-3. Stop teeing up defensemen for one-timers.
Yeah, especially when you're looking for answers.
Yes.
Let's try
it's
this
right there.
because you do see Anderson or Hannafin or Uyghur taking, it feels like, the majority of the shots, and they're from well out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Just try anything. I'm telling you, get friggin' Coronado up here. Get that friggin' power. If you're serious about all of this,
It's
your
coming.
power play can go a long way. Don't worry about trades or anything else. If your power play can, like you say, Rhett, if you're going to get another goal every other game here and there, there's no reason they should be nearly at the bottom. 28th,
not
no
13%. If the bottom is 18%, okay, well, whatever. Right? Like 13% is very low.
Awful. awful. And they've surrendered shorties too. Like they've had 5 shorties scored against them. That's not good. That's bottom third of the league type stuff. It's funny. They have some kids coming, but it's not the areas you'd love to see the kids coming in. Like I think they got 2 wingers that could really help this team in the very near future. That's Pelche, that's Coronado. And that's top 9. That's not like rolling a Klapka or Pedersen through the 4th line. They don't have D that are ready for minutes. Like Poirier, this is bad time for a serious slice that he took this year. And he's still a guy that I think is very, very high-end risk reward. Run your power play 3rd pair, maybe. Like he's not necessarily a top 4 guy. And they don't have centers. Maybe Zary will be, but it would be totally cruel to slot him to a new position in his rookie year when, you've seen how good he's been on the wing with Kadri. If they had a centerman coming and a D-man coming, I think this deadline's way easier for Connie.
Didn't they draft some kid last year, a defenseman?
Yeah, they took Poirier or Morin in the 2nd round.
Morin, yeah.
Out of the queue. And again, very, very high offensive IQ. Can he play D? And that was sort of the rep on Poirier as well. They slide because you wonder if they can defend.
Well, that was the Shillington thing, right?
Yep. Yeah, he was a year out, top 5 projection. And it's like, it takes a while. And to be fair with Shillington, he was playing against men when he was drafted, and he took a lot of time in the A, but he figured it out. It just takes time. And maybe Honzek is a center, but like that's a maybe at best. They don't have centers coming.
Take much time.
Wasn't that?
It didn't take me much time. I just
to go just switch the center or figure out offense.
Top five talent.
No, Rhett, you always had the defensive end figured out, I would hope.
Well, I had the weight
and the reach, the arms,
poke checking, and
clutch and grab with the best of them.
Noodles is right in all of this, though. It is now a position of strength for Conroy. All of it.
Explain how.
Well, okay, we'll go back to October. The whole league I guarantee you, he had 100 offers.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
All of them shitty.
All of them gross, but the rest of the league showing this rookie GM with this shit team with terrible effort. These guys don't even care or try. The city's turning on them. They're brutal. Nobody likes them. It's been a year and a half of the same BS efforts. He's going to have to make moves. He's got free agents and he can't keep it was a shitstorm for him. It was brutal. He can put his feet up and go, I'll just make the playoffs, fellas. Let's go.
There's one area that's not the strength, though, and that's the closer this team looks like a team that can compete, the harder it is to sell the owner on retooling and selling guys.
But then that's fine. It's still an easier spot for them because they are competing and playing well. They're 19-11-4. You said
I don't think it's a fugazi. Like I don't think this is smoke and mirrors. There's something to this.
Yeah.
So if you get there and just miss and you re-sign Hanifin, or you keep, let's say, because of the depth that you keep Hanifin, you don't, or Tanev, you keep him just because, well, like you say, do we take a late 2nd rounder or a 3rd, or do we just keep him and we continue to push? We're going to keep him. I don't think that sets you back a ton. I think you've seen enough from your young guys. You're seeing enough from some of the guys that are here that I think like us, I think Conroy's in a spot where I'm coming around a bit on this team, that they're not
what we thought shoveler
at the start of the year. Now, is that
give us some play-by-play?
Knock on the window. Knock on the window and wave.
She's got to use her legs. Here. She's got a stiff back if she's going like that.
Should I break it?
She got some AirPods in. What a gal.
Should I open the window and yell at her?
Yes.
Just tell her nice work, hun.
Tell her she missed a spot. Hey.
Oh, yes.
Hey, over there. You gotta get over there. Somebody over there. Get that spot.
There it
she
is.
flipping the bird?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she gave us the bird.
Oh, that's so good. She got to use her legs more, Red. That's just brutal.
Put your back into it.
Oh.
Wow.
No, yeah.
Oh,
that's
she's
fine.
going fast now. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. We're back to on topic.
If I'd asked you this summer, the worst spot in the standings the Flames could finish, what would you
Right
say?
now,
What-
they're in
what
it.
number?
They are in it. But
Yeah,
they've
they're still in
also
it for
they've
sure.
changed.
So that's what I mean. Like,
but they've changed everything. Like
I agree. Both things can be true. Like, I feel so much better about this group, the position the GM is, and he's not selling as many distressed assets as you thought he was going to have to.
And we thought maybe Coronado was going to be good. We thought maybe Pelche was going to make the jump and show us what he is.
Yeah.
Those two guys really haven't. But what we've been handed is two young guys that are making an impact on every game. Oh, I mean, I'm being
Zary
dramatic.
Postel have been huge.
They
They've
are,
been
though,
absolutely
Rhett, to
huge.
different,
Yeah.
to varying degrees. They are.
And that's been their best line since they put them together in Seattle like 2.5 months ago. It's wild how good they've been.
You still don't know what your most desirable asset is, and that's that Wolf kid. You think you know, but my point is they've already got two kids who you didn't think. So those I wasn't convinced. I think Pelche played well. I'm still not convinced that he's going to be as impactful as Zary or Zary, whatever you say it is.
Zary.
Right? But you've inserted two kids basically in this lineup that you had, they weren't part of the discussion in the offseason.
Yeah.
And so you've immediately catapulted yourself forward. I don't know. Forward.
You know what it is too? It's I think in the past few years, there's been expectations. Oh, this team could be good. Remember going into last year, this team might be better than the Kachuk and Gaudreau team.
There was teams picking them to win the cup, Dean.
So then when you finish in that mucky middle of it's disappointment because you didn't make it and you got all of that. I think it's because I don't think there were expectations on this team going into the year. And if
there was, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you because there were a lot of people that had expectations thinking they were going to bounce, blah, blah, blah. But then they came out and played that way.
Yeah. It looked like the Darryl team for the first 10 games, right?
Yeah.
It looked like a team that didn't want to work. They have bounced back. Be interesting to see what their record was last year at this time. I can find that out.
Like I'm not looking to read in and throw Jamie under the bus or anything, but he talks to Dregs and those guys. He's at the TSN headquarters.
Would be dialed in for sure.
Because I'm with you. If Bowen Byram's available, and it's right, is he available? Probably not. Would they part with him in a deal that they think could put them over the top? Okay, even if he is that guy, I would be.
Where was he drafted? 3rd overall or something like that?
High. I can look it up.
Like, but, I just think what's happened to him and what is the player? Because I think we're all in love with the draft slot and how highly touted he was.
Not necessarily, Ryan.
We didn't like where he was drafted and how he was a prospect. Like,
no, I'm not
like a star in the making.
I'm not saying that that's the only reason. We watched him play in the playoffs a couple years ago. He's had some injury issues.
Did he play in the playoffs 2 years ago? I thought he was hurt.
Between the World Juniors, he played 20 games.
Number 4.
Okay.
He played 20 games in 21-22 in the playoffs for the
So I don't know what he is what I'm saying. I love the name. I'm just wondering.
130 points, or pardon me, 130 games played, 55 points.
22 years of age.
It's the type of guy Colorado locks up and never moves, if we're being honest, right?
Cranbrook, BC, come back home, play in front of the Flames fans.
All I'm
saying available, go get him. Go get him. If he's available, go get him.
That's the type of player you would love to get back as opposed to quantity. We'll give you a pick and another pick and a couple guys that you're going to have to use Hockey DB to find out who the fuck they are.
Yeah, I agree. And and if you're making deals with Colorado and Boston, like you're talking about pick 27, 28, 29, 30,
the
31, 32.
I would have is
you can swing a miss there easy.
I think you always make the hockey trade, and I never got to this final point I was trying to make with Noodles, but I think you always make a good hockey trade if you can, but it does make a difference that it's Colorado. It's a team you could play in the first round. You give like whatever that, if it's we're just bullshitting and talking out of our, but if it's Lindholm and something and you get back, like you've stacked Colorado as well. Like if you think you're going to get through them, you have to, you've helped their cause.
Yeah, injuries. Look at that. Hey, 4 seasons. Look at the numbers played.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why he's available. I'm just trying to make sense of it all, right? Like, this is
But
supposed to be a
remember,
star.
if Colorado, and if I'm Colorado and if I'm considering moving a guy like this, then it's got to be somebody we think is a difference maker.
Piece of
And
way
I
guy,
know,
right?
and I know that Landeskog, if we talked about him last week, and then Landeskog is skating, and there's a chance he could be back for the playoffs. Now, because of the surgery, there's no guarantees there.
Mhm.
But if they look around and if they covet a guy like Lindholm, a centerman who can come in and play with some elite level players, we've seen how he does with elite level players.
Yep.
And we've got Cale Makar and Taves, and you go down the line. It's a position of strength. You have to give to get sometimes. It's
No
not
question.
it's not the craziest thing. There's, I guess, I'm not even red flags. I'd be like, well, why isn't he untouchable? He's a 4th overall pick.
Yeah.
But good young players get traded sometimes.
And to your point, it is an area of strength. It's Taves, Makar, Gerard, Manson is their top 4 right now. He's a top 4 guy. He's also hurt right now, which is very on brand, as you've seen from the Hockey DB page there.
Yeah.
It's the type of asset you would love to get. If you're Joe Sakic, I think you'd be saying, take our first. We want to keep this guy. But I get it. Like if that's if you're one piece away and you think you can hang a banner, of course you move this guy.
Because and I'm really putting people on the spot now. What is their? I mean, we know what their top line is. What is their depth down the middle for Colorado?
Well, Nichushkin he's a winger, but he just went to player assistance. They got Ross Colton, who they brought in from Tampa.
Ryan Johansson
has been moved down the lineup. He's always been a skill, but not the blue collar, right? They've got guys, but Lindholm's better than both those guys.
For sure. Yeah.
And cap wise, there's more challenges there, I'm sure, but it's I keep coming back to Boston and Colorado with Lindholm. And maybe Boston is bringing back Bergeron. That was an interesting little tidbit that Noodles had.
Yeah.
Because it just made no sense when this team is poised to win that they enter the season without their top 2 centers. And we'll just slide like Geeky and Coyle and the rookie in there. You're like, is that really the plan? What else is happening here?
Yeah.
But if all of a sudden that's Bergeron, Lindholm 1-2, it's like, yeah, okay, they're back.
That wouldn't surprise me in the least.
Do some digging. That's your neck of the woods, right?
Boston. I hate Boston.
It's going to be a fun little run here, isn't it?
Should.
Because we don't know.
Start to play like they.
It feels we don't know which way this is going, and if they start to play like bleep, then all right. So who are you now? You are trading more guys. Now you are shifting gears a little bit, and so who's it going to be? Yeah, then you're Hockey DB in, or you're this Poitras kid in Boston, or whatever else there is. But if they keep winning, okay, well, how do you straddle the line a little bit?
Is that surprising, that record since the outdoor game? 19, 11, and 4. That's a 618 points percentage. 618 is like not only playoffs, that's home ice type record.
That's where I thought
the gauntlet run was going to kill them.
enough.
Remember I said if they could go 500 in the gauntlet run, they can do it. And I was like, oh boy, that take's going to suck. But here we are.
When's December 23rd? Because Fatface told you that let's just get to Christmas and I'll tell you where the bear shits and the bull rushes. I'll let you know what's
Christmas
going on with this team. Hey, just wait till the 23rd of December.
To be fair, by Christmas next year, we will know how things
I didn't say what year. I didn't tell you what year it was going to be.
Yeah, 618 has them second or third in every division in the league. That's what they've been.
And I'm right when I say this. I'm speaking for the group. We don't think this is smoke and mirrors, because that happens sometimes. They're playing way over their heads. They aren't this good. They may not be this good, like you say, 618 good, but there's something there.
Yeah, they might not be 618 good, but they also shouldn't have been 2-5 and whatever it was.
2-7-1.
Yeah, 2-7-1 to start a year. They shouldn't have been that bad. They played that badly, and now they've played that well. So
and we talked about it. It's okay. So you get a Toronto team. It's spin the narrative how you want. If Toronto's playing great, it's like, oh, you don't want to play them now. Toronto's playing like shit. They've blown leads in 4 straight. Oh, they're going to be angry. Like no matter what it is, you can spin it as this is trouble for Calgary.
win the game.
Edmonton, if they had lost a tough one, they're going to be grumpy. Instead, they won 11 in a row. They're just playing great. I mean, you could still lose these 2 games and have an awesome homestand. You've got St. Louis, Columbus, Chicago after them, and you've won the opener of the homestand.
Well, you've got your built-in excuse as well if Markstrom doesn't play. Well, we didn't have Markstrom. But I just, whatever it is, I don't see this team not showing up to be part of the game.
It's
right?
the exact opposite of our fear last year, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Like,
if they just showed up and worked, they would have got 2 points tonight.
And the shitty part about last year was that they would actually show up against good teams and try to compete and maybe not win because they weren't as good as a real good team. And then the flat teams, they just didn't bother to show up. So it was a real combination. Whereas I don't see that. They had that one flat game against Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a weird weekend of hockey with Philly in an afternoon and then Chicago the next day. Excuses. You've not seen them have very many flat efforts. And last night was a flat effort. They still get a win.
Minnesota early December and Chicago. Those are the only 2 disappointing games basically since we got out of November.
And you
canvass the league, right?
Yes.
You can ask who you consider to be elite. They will have the same story. There's been a handful of games, maybe at this point, halfway through, that they look at and say, yeah, we were no good. We had no business winning, and we didn't. So let's do the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. My understanding is road conditions not ideal out there.
Can we get an update?
Well, Rhett showed us what's going on in Buffalo. It's much the same here, I think, Retro. The school buses and city buses and everything, it's not great.
Let's go to our intrepid producer, Jack, who's actually in the traffic helicopter. Jack, let's go to you now.
Not good. 2-hour drive today.
Oh,
yeah. So I live in Cranston, and I can either go Deerfoot or Stony, and I make that decision every day. Stony has never failed me until today. Brutal crash. Hopefully everyone's okay. Thanks for RJ for filling in as well. But it was a long drive. I was going 0.
You're in studio?
I'm here, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just think I'd have turned around.
Why are you in studio?
I called Ryan at 8:20. I said, "This isn't looking good, buddy." He said, "I need you here," and I sent it.
What a dick you are.
Why? Department of Discipline filming after this. We got another show to do.
So what does that mean?
That means we got to set up the gear in the other studio.
You're not capable of moving cameras?
I don't think you're allowed to put another human in harm's way.
Could Jack have talked you through that? Could he have talked you through that over the phone?
We talked about what our options were today, and we both thought that him coming in was the best idea. But yes,
is that what? Yeah.
Thanks, Jack. Just railroaded.
It is the Pinder Report, so spin it out. We will.
I think either way, we were getting to the point. It's probably time for a nice, reliable vehicle, Dean. Is that where we were headed?
That's where we were going, Ryan.
I get in.
You want reliability more than anything else, whether it's in co-workers or in a quality, newer used vehicle. Huge selection of used over at Village, all makes, all models. You know what? They'll even take one of those, the backpack snowblower.
I like those.
Yeah, really? I need one of those. I want 2 of them. I can only use one at a time, but I feel like I need 2 of them.
It'd be cool if you had a bunch of guys with them on. You'd be walking around like Ghostbusters. Yeah. That'd be unreal.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, man. 70 units on site, more than 400 within the dealership group make Village Honda your one-stop automotive destination in Calgary. They're worth the trip. Village Honda, Northwest Auto Mall, and online at villagehonda.com. Present the Pinder Report.
Start last night at the Dome. First of a 6-game homestand. The Flames were flat, but somehow picked up 2 points. Let's go to Afterburner to find out how.
Dan Vladar, I guess just thoughts on him, because we knew this morning after Markstrom was announced day-to-day, he knew for the better part of probably 24 hours he was going to be going in. Thoughts on him?
Yeah. This is good to see from Dan Vladar. This is the Dan Vladar you're hoping to see if you're Craig Conroy or anyone else, because frankly, goaltending is a real big part of winning 6 of 8 in January, and that didn't stop tonight. I thought Ingram was very good, but Vladar, 2 breakaways, 3 against, I guess, if you count overtime, like there's 1 missed net and 2 really big saves, a second opportunity off the breakaway from Cooley, and I'm looking the second period. Zucker coming in following the play. Really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not one of those nights where anybody could have tended the net and they would come away with a win.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. The Vladar is
Go ahead.
lovely. He's wonderful. I have a request because I think it's going to come to an end at some point soon. Your hair is wonderful. I don't want you to cover it. For the however long you've got. Ooh. However
For
you've
Christ's
got
sake.
how long you've got left with
Look what you've
that.
done.
I don't because I see you on the Afterburner. You look beautiful, and then you got a toque on today. Come on.
So no
Let it
shower,
flow.
no shower pre-work. This is what I roll out of bed
Let
looking
it-
like. Hey,
Let
baby,
it flow.
little morning
because
delight, huh?
The
I
boss
try and
is-
explain to people that most humans, when you wear a hat or a toque, you take it off and it's just your hair is just sucked right down to your skull. There's, I mean, what the hell is happening on your head?
There's a current running for that, man.
Oh, yeah, it's something. And I'm glad you brought it up, Brett, because that is the first thing that I was drawn to when that clip started. That's quite the hairdo.
That's right. Hey, last night's hair. Suck on this. Let's take a look at the standings, Steve. What are we doing here? There's the cutoff for the wild card, fellas.
What
Don't
the
end
age?
up there.
Oh my God, they're in peak pain spot in the standings. Impressive
They're
stuff.
going to catch Nashville. They're doing it.
They've looked better than Nashville. They've looked better than Arizona in recent clashes with both those clubs. They're certainly not in the same echelon as Edmonton, unfortunately. I think they can be better than Seattle. I don't know about St. Louis. Minnesota's missing half of their team. Why not the Flames is probably the question fans are asking themselves right now when you look at that final playoff spot. Schedule, we talked about it. They're at home till the All-Star break, then the CBA break. They won't go on the road again until Feb 6, where they're in Boston. Maybe just drop Lindholm off right there. Would that work for you?
Sure.
Toronto, Edmonton, and then St. Louis, Columbus, Chicago next week.
All right.
Couple high-flying offenses Thursday, Saturday, and then looking next week.
You
Types
gotta
of
win.
teams you got to beat if you want to get in.
Will you win one of those games?
Split with
Toronto,
these two, yeah.
Split one of these, the next two, and win the next week. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, what are you going to be? What's the math add up to as far as games over 500 at that point?
Well, they're 3 over now, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Three over, so 4 or 5. They'd be 6 games over 500 at the All-Star break.
Oh, baby.
You can't sell.
What if they take 2 of 3? If you can get a split here, take 2
Even
of
then,
3.
I think 5 or
okay?
6 games over 500 at
That
the
would be-
All-Star break is.
That'd be a 4-2 homestand. That's
You're
very
happy with
good.
that?
That's
Feel good?
666 hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Pretty.
No, they were
Uh,
5. Sorry, Ryan. I was going to say they were 5, 6, and 2 in December. They're 6 and 2 now in January, correct? So already
flying.
at
6 of 8 in Jan.
at the halfway point, they've surpassed their win total from December.
Chances to make it. Let's take a peek. What do we got here? Oh, there's the old Betway app, fellas.
Oh, Bet.
Plus 140. Keep an eye on that number. And by the All-Star break, might be a very different looking number. We shall see. I want to remind you, you're at the game last night. We got some free gaming for you at Greta. Our pals at Greta, anytime the Flames win an OT, they're just going to shower you in riches. Last night's example of it, $100 gaming voucher. You know those cards that gives you credits on the machines? $100.
Jesus.
Hundo.
It's a lot of Mortal Kombat, friends, and I'm all for it. Let's go.
So how do you just show up at Greta with your
Proof of, just say, hey, here's
Yeah.
my ticket, or I was here. This is
Yep.
whatever. Way you go. Gaming card. Go get it.
nice?
That's a win, fellas. That's a big win.
Thanks, Greta.
Yeah, thanks big time. Mario Kart still. The multiplayer, tons of fun. That's the move right there. Loser does tequila shots. Is that what it is, Dean? How does it go?
So yeah, I think
I
that's
can't
how
remember.
that's how it goes for some people. Yes,
Better be good, because it's not going to get easier driving after 5
not
of those.
usually. No.
Okay, so Toronto and Edmonton are the next two opponents. Teams in very, very, very different spots psychologically. The Maple Leafs have blown 4 leads in their last 4 games to lose them all. Here's a quick look at them playing defense. You could also go to.
I like that.
Could also be the no metal detector security guy. That's
That's right,
another one of
yeah.
my favorite names. Meanwhile, the Oilers, other end of the spectrum, let's have a listen to this one as our boy Jack Michaels brings them home.
Oilers are going to win this hockey game. 11 straight for Edmonton. From the depths of 30th place in the National Hockey League to a team that refuses to let this streak die. 4-2's your final.
Boy, it'd be a shame if that streak died on Saturday in Jasper, wouldn't it, Dean?
Yeah, we're not saying they have to miss the
They're
playoffs.
11th in the NHL, and the smugometer is already redlining. Like, we cannot have this go much longer for Oilers fans.
Now, that being said, we felt fairly smuggy ourselves early on in the year.
Were we?
We knew this was coming.
Yeah, but we still enjoyed it. There was a lot of it's fine.
I know.
I'm fine
I
with
know.
it. I'm just it's
Just Saturday.
I'm not okay.
Dear
with
hockey
the-
gods, Dean, please bow your head with me. Dear hockey gods, we don't ask for much here. We're not even asking for a lottery win. Never mind 4 and 7 years. Just a measly win Saturday in Calgary against the rivals that failed their way into the best player that's ever played the sport. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Okay. That's done.
Sweet Jeebus.
Alex Barkov's dinged up, fellas.
Oh,
Florida.
Oh,
pick him
Saying we're
up.
going to take our time with him.
come up. Yeah.
Pick him up. We want him to
Oh.
completely heal. If he's at 95%, he's not going to go in on that one. We got to get back to 100 because the way he plays, we don't think it'll take too long to do that. This guy is going to go on a Bergeron type heater, I believe, with the Selke. This is just the Barkov trophy for the next 5 years, I get the sense. He's been sensational.
You guys
Sneaky
mentioned the
awesome
Selke yesterday in Coleman. Do wingers ever win the Selke?
Yes, you could do like a Mark Stone type thing, but very rarely. It's often centers. And deservedly so. Lots of defensive
I guess so.
responsibility.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Let's go to the Buffalo, where we have men on the ground and women shoveling the streets.
There it is.
We need to get, this is Kristen, someone on Twitter here. We need some verification from Rhett. Just saw a TikTok, and apparently Bills are building a new stadium, and so far it's just a big pit in the ground. 5 games ago, a fan fell into the pit, and they won.
Was
Since
it a
then,
fan?
a fan sacrifices themselves to the pit before every single game, and they've won every single game. I'm dead serious. Rhett, can we get a pit update?
I'm not unsure of the falling into the pit scenario. I knew there was someone that fell into the pit and had shit himself and was all drugged
Yeah, we
up.
saw that. Yeah,
It
that's
was
right.
a real mess. So I hope they're not all following
Yeah, do they all
One a
have to
week.
be
That's it.
exact
Just
same.
one a week.
filled to the brim with crystal meth and shit
Yeah.
themselves, or can you just kind of roll down the hill and into the bottom?
Whatever it takes for the Super Bowl, friends. Could you find one volunteer a week in Buffalo to do that if it was guaranteeing a Super
Dude,
Bowl?
it-
Yes.
They'd
Give me the
be-
bath salts
they'd
right
fill
now.
the-
Let's do
they'd
it.
fill the pit with
They would
people.
fill the
That
pit.
was going to help.
This is unfortunate. This is in Tampa, where, what is it, Todd Bowles, their head coach?
Mm-hmm.
He was asked about, traveling to Detroit, and I think we had a very green reporter. Maybe someone from news had to cover for sports that day, Dean. That'll happen. Very short staff these days, the media. Let's have a listen to the question.
Coach, looking forward towards Detroit. The weather has been a factor in some of the playoff games, even for the most prepared teams. Today, it's 13 in Detroit, which doesn't compare to some of the temperatures we tend to talk to. Any special plans to acclimate the team to not only endure, but perform in those kind of frigid temperatures should you face them in Detroit?
You do know we play indoors, right? And they got a dome. I don't. No,
Fire!
nothing planned. We're indoors, and
You
we
are
only have to be outside for 20 seconds, getting off the bus, going under the thing. So we'll be okay.
20 seconds.
You're fired.
I feel so bad for that woman. That's
I
not her
know.
real
I
job.
don't.
She's
I
filling
don't
in.
feel bad. You're an idiot. You have to
And what's
feel bad.
great is they've only played indoors in Detroit for about 50 years, because even before Ford Field, they were at the Silverdome.
That's
So
right.
a relatively new development, this indoor football thing for
Oh.
the Detroit Lions.
How do you show your face the rest of the day there?
That's a tough
You just get your bag and leave. You're done.
Are you not shit canned with that?
Like I
Come
said,
on.
that can't
No
be
one
a
gets
sports
fired
reporter.
now.
That's
No one gets
uh,
fired. Just
You can go cover something else.
Yes. Yeah. Oof. Anyway, got a kick out of that. Thought you'd like it.
And
Believe
she
that's-
dug into it. Like,
Oh yeah, really
big
stretched it out there.
numbers
Yeah.
and like
13
how are you?
Fahrenheit.
You guys, we're in Florida.
The
I
answer is
thought-
so good.
And I thought Bowles rode the line pretty good of being, hey, stupid, and being respect. We're playing indoors, so
You know that, right?
no, we're not making for the 20-second walk from the
20
bus to the
seconds.
building. We're not really doing a whole lot to acclimatize ourselves.
Guys, do you miss Aussie Brad? I do. It's been a
Oh,
while
where is
since
he?
we heard from our friend. Well, he checked in on the Holiday Spirits show.
Yes, he did.
I don't know why I was thinking about him. I was watching some English Premiership yesterday and just thought, like, man, where's Aussie Brad? Where's Aussie Brad? Yeah, maybe it was these jerseys that we saw. I don't know if we can zoom in on those, but
What is it?
the best.
Oh,
What did they say, Dean? I can't.
nope. I can't. You know,
Brett?
my eyes are bad.
Rhett? Okay, he's either muted or he's not answering.
I don't
Right.
read French, so I no, I can't.
We'll see you next Tuesday, fellas.
See you next
Uh,
time.
I actually wrote it or read it, but it was muted.
Let's go to Buffalo, I assume, above ground pool here. And with the trampoline in the backyard, it's got to be Rob Ray's house, I'm thinking. Let's go in for a live look.
Oh, if he hits the bottom of that pool,
I hurt. I'm not gonna hit you. It's gonna hurt me.
I know it's gonna hurt.
Hurt.
It's loading up here. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. Come on, Rob. Bang.
Is he dead?
We've had a few near-death sides of the above ground pool. Much more dangerous. Didn't realize it. People should be cut in half on like 10 videos we've seen. Oh my God.
Now, we talked about percentages earlier in the show.
Yeah.
What was the percentage that was going? How
If
was
you're
that supposed to end?
If you're a professional trampolinist, trapezist,
Yes.
whatever the hell they're called, that's a tough move for even them.
Trapezius, yeah.
He's going to have a sore trapezius for sure after this one. My God. And look at that. Decent form. No. Good night, sweet prince.
He did have a good form. I think he felt like he had it.
I think he did. Yeah.
Someone moved that trampoline on him because he was another foot. He had it.
Yeah, move it a little further back. I can make that.
I got it. I got it. One more. What the hell? One more foot.
And no one was
Finally?
the beauty of it was nobody's cheering him on. No one's
Yeah, the wife basically calls it,
right.
like, this is
Everyone's like, "You're an idiot. Don't do it."
Yeah. And no one,
Usually-
yeah, because no one is cheering him on, and no one is saying, no, don't do this. This is dangerous. It's like, all right, let's take a look. See.
Guess
Oh,
what?
you didn't make.
Now, you guys have made toast before, I imagine.
I love nice
Like-
cold day like
Like
this.
cheers, like a
No,
at a
like
wedding or
Oh,
something.
yeah,
bread,
hot chocolate.
toaster,
You cut
peanut
it
butter.
into strips. You dip it in the hot chocolate, the toast,
Oh,
and
the-
the hot chocolate.
yeah.
Oh,
With the
yum!
delicious.
You've never made toast like this, I'm guessing. So I just want to take a look. Someone's having a great start to the day. Let's watch this here. Pushes it down. He's on a swing. There's some workshop here, Red. He's got the knife with the peanut butter. Yeah. Trying to pop it. Gonna pop it. Pop it now. Come on. Who saw that ending coming?
I didn't see that ending coming, actually.
That's what your face looks like when a bolt of electricity goes through you. And no, I'll just hold on to the swing. No, you can't. You've been electrocuted. You're man down.
That's a t-shirt.
So there again, what was the possible outcome of that? Was he just going to grab?
He's gonna
a
pop
piece
the
of
toast,
and
catch
then-
it, and then put the peanut butter on instead of get electrocuted. It's beautiful stuff.
Also, a trapezist of some sort. in
Yes.
that.
Trapezius gonna be
Yeah.
aching.
It's
Yeah.
trapezius.
That's your Pinder Report on a Wednesday.
Oh, I wanted
Good
more.
Lord.
Those are great.
Brought to you by Village Honda. New in-stock inventory is on the ground. Start your automotive adventures at Village Honda. New vehicle pricing, of course, is MSRP. Your dealership for life, Village Honda. That's those are the ones that resonate with us, which I don't know what that says about us. But it's here. Oh, here's a power play goal from the game last night. Oh yeah. Here's a guy getting his dick caught in the dryer. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look. I can't wait.
10 out of
Yes.
10.
Play it again. Play it again.
Here's a skateboarder who fell right on a pole between his legs. Oh, yeah, more of that.
Get your questions in. Tomorrow is Thursday. That means Ask Rhett for Bon Ton Meats, a Calgary tradition since 1921. You can email your questions in at the email address askret@flamesnation.ca, askret@flamesnation.ca, or if you're on X, you can go with the hashtag AskRet, and we'll filter through that way. There's a lot of things going on. Cold weather, snow, football, life, kids, above ground pools, toaster mishaps.
A big
Whatever
warm
guidance you
welcome
need.
as well to Mr. Keller, to the Bills Mafia, and our
That's right.
family. We're here for you, buddy.
Yeah, he said he was buying. I just suggested to him. I said, "Are you sure?" Now, abandoning the Cowboys, it seems like that's on vogue. There's a lot of people doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Are you sure?" He said, "Or Detroit." I just love I love the small market fan bases. So,
Greg, come down Sunday, 6:30. We'll go get here early. We'll go shopping with you. I'll get you supplies. We can work together. We can coordinate a beautiful meal. We'll do our best to. Actually, I don't want you to have to work when you come. Just show up. We're going to go down to the stadium. We're going to cruise around. We're going to see some of my buddies. You're going to have some great food. I'll show you what it's all about. We'll throw you in the pit. Give
Yeah.
you some meth. It'll be awesome.
Guarantee
You'll
a
love
win.
it.
Yeah. Don't tell your wife about that part, but yeah.
we'll fill you right up with some crystal meth, throw you in the hole, dig you back out again. It'll be a great time. Just a great time. Yeah, I don't know. Travel ban, eh? Be tough for Greg to get there.
I don't know. We're supposed
Is
to
it going to clear up by Sunday? What are we looking at there?
Oh, yeah.
Are they paying people another $20 an hour to empty the stadium of snow?
No, they built a roof, a floating
they did.
roof.
This week they
roof.
threw a roof up. Yeah. That seems smart. Get those questions in. Ask Rhett tomorrow for Bon Ton Meat Market. Calgary tradition since 1921. There are only 3 games tonight. Only 3 in the National Hockey League.
That's all.
That's all. But yet we've managed to put together some Betway bets. I know we're talking DoorDash. It's kind of the same thing, but we'll do some Betway bets for our buddies at Betway we're going to see this weekend. They're coming out to Jasper. Goodness gracious. Now, are they playing? Are they throwing on the blades to take part in the Jasper Pond hockey?
I'm getting conflicting scouting reports, but I think there may be at least one player, maybe 2 from Betway.
Nice.
We get deeper in Mossa. We're good.
It's not been the strongest scouting for this, Rhett.
To me, it sounds like
what you talking about? We're bringing back a championship team.
Pinder is selling this squad like last year's Flames squad, where people are, they're going to be better than the year before. They're going to be unstoppable. Look at all the depth. I don't like how this lineup is looking.
What did you see last year from the same lineup plus Dean?
You had the Boom Cat in there to motivate people and keep them honest. He was doing his thing.
That's right.
And here's like a lot of people do this in life, Ryan. And you're young, so we got to teach you.
That's right.
Compare yourself to shit doesn't make you good.
We were great last year. We didn't even lose a game. Right, you were not in Jasper. I hate to tell you how the results went last year.
Listen, I'm just saying there are Hall of Famers crawling the streets of Calgary.
Are they?
And you've approached none of them. You've got no depth. I think you're overestimating that you can continue at the pace you had last year. I don't think
he had incredible pace. His pace was incredible.
Or skating.
Either.
Yeah, he and
one high kick away from a pulled hammy and being on the IR. Like
it's true. Yeah,
I might be kicked out of the tournament after Friday night. Alberga's going to drop mitts for opening faceoff Friday night. He told me, he's setting the tone.
I said we're game 1 against Leafs Nation. Rose Hill's going to be running around.
Oh yeah, is he ever?
He's going to pop you right in the mouth.
It's going to be a line for that though.
Yeah. I think you should I think you got to look for a real ringer here the last couple of days, 48 hours you got to.
We re-signed the leading scorer of the tournament last year, right? He's coming back to play for us again. We're good.
Depth, Ryan. Depth. You don't know what some of these guys, they fly off the handle Friday night. They're not feeling well. They crap their pants. The underpants cam that Noodles
That's
talked
right.
about. What are you at, a 0 or a 50? Like, hey, prove me wrong.
It feels like
you're the
maybe
GM. Prove me wrong, but
that you're resting on your laurels. Your
Who have you invited,
laurels.
Dean, for the team as the head coach and GM?
I'm not the GM. I am not the GM. This has been your baby.
So you've probably extended olive branches to at least a half dozen people, right?
It's not my role.
Okay.
he's a scout. He just
How's the scouting
reports.
going?
He sends
I
the
agree with
reports.
Rhett. There's a lot of Hall of Famers around, and you've talked to
Crawling
them.
around on the street, he said. Yeah.
That's all I can do. That's
Well, they're
I
all
can do.
old. They played in the 80s, so those Hall of
Yeah.
Famers are not really.
It's unfortunate.
I'm confident.
Betway bets for tonight's. I'm guessing you went with hockey. I know that I took.
I saw your bets. I've got a similar
You didn't
similar
go with
vein here.
Detroit and Tampa Bay in the outdoor.
I don't outdoors.
Outdoor
These games when they
classic.
go outside and the weather, you can't trust it.
God, the ice will be shitty in Florida tonight. Hey, it's so warm. Jeez.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be terrible down there. Sam Reinhart's having a hell of a year. I don't know if you've noticed. It's a contract year. He's been dynamite.
Yeah.
Anytime goal for Reinhart pays plus 120. He has goals in 7 straight games.
Jeez.
9 goals in those 7 games. I'll take an anytime one, please, at plus 120.
Yeah.
And a power play point or more pays 162 plus 162. He has power play points in 6 of his last 7 games. So I am going to ride Reinhart into tonight's Wings Panthers matchup. And it's Matthew Tkachuk bobblehead night. So
good.
They'll be wound right up.
I'm going to stay with the hot hand as well. First goal of that same game, Rhett and Dean pays plus 700.
Big
Stay
game.
hot, kid.
Big
I'm
game,
also
huh?
going to jump on a Tage Thompson first goal of the game at plus
Well,
700 to
can I-
Chicago's in Buffalo, but that game been wiped, I guess. So
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
we'll have to wait another.
How's
24 hours.
Tage doing? He was
Had a kid.
he was the talk of the town last year. He
Had a
was the-
kid. I guess having a kid is a major
Don't do it.
uprooter for success in the NHL because there's a few guys.
Has the kid
last-
arrived yet? Because that really
Yep.
messed up Markstrom. It was the whole
Yeah.
pregnant thing that was bad
I
for
know.
Markstrom. Having the kid was great.
Kid recently arrived, so I don't know that he's certainly not setting the world but on fire anymore like last year. And their power play stinks too, and that guy can shoot the
That's
puck. and
crazy. With
feels like-
Darlene.
yeah.
Oh, God, that's crazy. Okay, I'm going to sort my goals and see where old Tage is here. What the hell's going on here?
Those are our Betway bets. Get the Betway app on your phone, your tablet, your desktop, and play along. Yeah, there's only 3 games. Actually, there's only 2 games tonight. How do you make them interesting? How do you make them fun? You get involved with Betway, the official gaming partner of Barn Burner.
It's not showing up on the first page. Jeez.
I if you went back a year, because I think it was around Christmas time last year, Thompson had almost 40 goals. I bet she's
He
got
was flying.
15
He was-
assists, right? Like he was lights out.
What are we doing,
And I
Tage?
don't care.
Rhett, what did you make of the just kind of while Ryan was taking a look, the Kessel ring hit on Connor Zary last night?
I don't. I talked with a bunch of people over the last weekend about hitting and stuff. And I think that guys are so not used to getting hit, they don't protect themselves. And anytime a guy gets hit, we overreact to it.
This is more of a shove into the goalie and then cross checks than a hit, if we're being fair,
Well,
right? This isn't a hit.
Well, then I didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, in the playoffs.
In the
Ron
playoffs,
Stone.
right? It's similar, but it's completely different as well. Like he cross checks him in the arm, shoulder-ish area. It's not.
And Ben was measuring him from above
Yes.
too. It was, and I had
Yeah.
brought up last night on Afterburner when Mangiapane this year in Seattle against, I think it was Jared McCann, or he was one of the forwards, when he bounced his head off the ice and got, what did he get, a game? At
But I
least?
still don't see. I'm a hypocrite because, yeah, it's not necessary, but I don't care. Like, Zary, get up.
And he did. He was out there for the power play.
yeah,
There's nothing to see there. Yeah,
No,
that's
right?
it.
Like, we all have this want to throw the book at everybody. Well, okay, go ahead. But that's the type of situation. Not that Zary's going to fight, but that's where a fight's a good fight.
Yeah, and Osterley chased him around. The linesman got in the way. They handed
Right,
a
like whatever it
roughings,
is, and it doesn't have to be, but a reactionary. A guy played him hard, give him a bit of a, well, sure, it's a bit of a cheap shot, absolutely, but that's where it's like, F you, I'm gonna scrap you now, you bastard, right? Like that's where I want that emotion in the game, and so I don't need the refs to, give him a penalty, absolutely, but I don't need you to throw guys out of the game and try to take all the emotion out so that none of that ever happens. I'm okay with a little bit of piss and vinegar. Let's have that.
There was one of those hits last night, and it was Blake Coleman. He was coming through the neutral zone, and I think wasn't it Dursey that stepped up on him and popped him pretty good, because Coleman he's not going to get hit. No one's hitting anybody anymore. And then all of a sudden, one guy decides, I'm going to step up this time. Not last shift or the shift before, but this shift, and maybe not again for another 20 or 30 shifts. And popped him a good one. Whereas if you're used to getting hit, you're ready for that. It's just an observation, I guess. I'm not asking for more hitting. I don't know that I terribly miss it. The game's pretty exciting and fun, but
Dumba drilled Pospisil. Pospisil got him back with a little backwards check. There's some physicality. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, hit. This it makes the games more interesting. And to be honest with you, as a player, it hurts, but it gets you in the game. Right? Like give a hit, take a hit. First shift, get into the game. Like it's the saying, the oldest time for hockey, where if you get hit or give a hit early in a game, you're probably in the game. You're probably going to play better. If you're floating through it, absolutely. It's easier on the body and it doesn't sap your energy and this. But a little bit of physicality and some shit disturbing, good thing for the game. There's more.
They missed that
energy.
with Gilbert a bit. He's a guy that's played quite physically. It sounds like he's close.
That is good. He's been skating. Happy to hear it. Kind of losing my. The first thing that popped into my head was how far we think Pelche is away, but I don't know that we really know because he's been skating.
Their head coach said they're around. It's good to get him in the environment, and we'll learn a lot in the next week. So.
And in that same vein, a lot of people ask, so what's how's Shillington? What's happening with Shillington?
Groin.
That's, he's gonna have to be healthy. He's gonna have to be ready. He's gonna have to feel right about everything. So to predict is,
I would think Shillington's decision is 100% on Shillington.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's just not healthy right now. So groin right. Let him play a bunch. He's feeling good. His post-game quotes were phenomenal. He was smiling ear to ear, talking about how much fun he had. That's the good stuff right there.
And he was coming to Jasper, right? Until the groin injury. You had him locked up.
You know what? We've had a lot of injuries. We had a wrist surgery. We got a knee issue. It's tough out there right now.
Too bad. We are heading this weekend out to Jasper. It is the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. There's going to be a bunch of
Lugans.
Nation Network Lugans out there. We are going to be doing what sounds like. Now, we have creative control of this show. We do not need to do a joint afterburner with those dummies if we don't want to. But the notion has been, after the Oilers and Flames play on Saturday, we'll just all get together and huddle around some microphones and do a show together, which sounds about as fun as, I don't know, getting kicked in the balls. But
here, my suggestion to you guys is, if you get, let's do the afterburner show and drink too much, and at the end of the game go, I can't be on the air like this. You guys handle this. Take this.
Pinder was in as soon as he said drink too much. Whatever else came after that,
that was happening.
My takes are too hot for that show. They can't handle my takes. I'm gonna count up $23 million a dead cap for them next year on their show if they do that. They're gonna get it. We're gonna talk about Connor Brown's bonus overage for half an hour if those assholes want me on their show.
Oh jeez. Oh dear. So anyway, we are heading up there. We're gonna be you're gonna see some stuff on social media. We'll be throwing some content your way, and all our trip, our journey to Jasper is fueled by Booster Juice. Download the new Booster Rewards app today to start earning berry points for delicious and nutritious smoothies, drinks, and food that will get you through your day. And thank you to Booster Juice. Booster Juice. So I mentioned about, there's only 2 games tonight. It's putting you in a tough spot, Pinder, for what's on the menu.
I'm going off the board. We're not even doing
Are you?
NHL. It's a lot of RB teams tonight. I'm not really keen on. I got something way better, way more
All right.
exciting. It is for DoorDash. What's on the menu?
With DoorDash, it shows up at your door. It's what you want from where you want, whenever you want it, and for a limited time. You can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on your first order of $15 or more. Download the DoorDash app, enter promo code NATION25, NATION25 to trigger that deal. So what is on the menu for DoorDash?
5:30 Mountain Time. We've got an incredible clash of titans. It's the Bosch Bowl, CB4 bragging rights. Toronto, Miami from Hogtown. Take our talents to South Beach? No, we're going to take them north of the 49th or south of the 49th. I don't know where it is latitude-wise in Canada. That's what's on the menu tonight. It's Miami, it's Toronto, it's the association. Chris Bosch, just ear-to-ear smiles.
Chris Bosch.
The Bosch Bowl.
Yeah. I watched him the other night. He's still got it.
Still tall?
He's still tall, still taking it to the rack.
Still hooping and diming.
Hooping and diming. He's a hooper and a dimer. That is what's on the menu for DoorDash. Dash that for the win with DoorDash. I would think it's a lot of DoorDash with the cold temps and the snow and everything right now.
I would DoorDash, but
I wouldn't risk it. I'd just get DoorDash to do it.
Ban.
Why wouldn't you do it? Just let DoorDash do it. Just let DoorDash do
Can
it.
they drive during the snowstorm? Like
Sure they
drive
can.
the driving ban?
I don't know. I don't know what you've got going on there in Buffalo.
COVID was happening, and we were like, there were emergency workers. Like, what's the terminology? I get the wrong words, but it was like, oh, your job is of
First
a certain
responders.
No. Like we got. To go to this,
yeah.
So it was like
the term
because we were that at the radio station.
That's what I mean. That's what the DoorDash drivers would be. This is very necessary. This is important.
What was that word they used?
What was that?
I don't know. Questions, comments. Give us that word. People that were allowed to walk about during COVID because
essential
their
workers.
Essential workers. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
DoorDash drivers, essential workers in Buffalo. Let's go.
How's the shoveler?
In the next 36 hours, 3 to 4 feet of new snow accumulating.
3 to 4 feet?
Mm-hmm.
Read that again.
What to expect in the next 36 to 48 hours? 3 to 4 feet of new accumulation in areas already pummeled by snow.
Pummeled. Good verbiage.
Pummeled.
Wow.
It's not good.
Shoveler's going to be just flush with 20s by the time that Bills game rolls around to kickoff.
What am I need a series or a trilogy or so, like a 3-part or
a binge here. Yeah.
I need a binger, but something that from 10 to me will enjoy.
Oh, I have a good one for you and the shoveler, but not the kids. Have you done the White Lotus? There's 2 seasons. Oh, that's a good one. Steamy.
Was that the hotel?
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yes, I watched that when I was sick.
Okay,
but I don't think that's.
So you need one with the kids involved.
Yeah, it's got to be family friendly.
Have you done the Ted? Have you done Ted Lasso?
Oh, Ted Lasso's great.
No,
that's a good one.
That's good family stuff. Heartwarming, sending the right message. What you're all about.
Coaches on acid, all kinds of great stuff.
Rambo.
Rambo, a little more violent.
Yeah.
Judging how your hockey team plays, that might
Rambo
be a perfect
any
fit for
good
your
anymore? Is another question. Is Rambo any good anymore?
I'm willing to bet it's not as great as we thought it was.
Because it was pretty big.
Yeah. I went back and I showed my kid Terminator and Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't get any better.
Terminator 2, please. Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Because that was the big one.
Terminator 1 was like, it's not okay. It's kind of draggy at parts.
Yeah, it's no good.
And then even Terminator 2, because at the time those special effects were unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
the cop, like, ting 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 ting. It's like, that's going to be the cop again, right? Oh, you're ruining it, kid. Shut up. This is one of the best movies ever. Just shut your face.
I'll let me guess. He's just going to go right through the bars because he can melt through.
Oh, because he's
this shit.
So if he can do that, why can't he? All right. Yeah. Shush. It's a lot of those things. I sat down. I showed them Groundhog Day. This is one of the funniest movies ever. There was no laugh. There was no laughing in my living room.
What about a good comedy? Like a John Candy? Is Planes, Trains,
Too old. You got to go to Adam Sandler's. That's going to work. Go do what's the one where he goes back to school? Billy Madison. That's a hit.
For a 10-year-old though.
Yeah, it might be a little young.
Yeah, because some of those, because I feel like Tommy Boy is still a good one. Gosh, I remember we talked when we were on the radio with our buddy Peter Klein, not from McLeod Law. We were like, you've got to watch Kingpin. Kingpin is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
So good.
And he watches like, I don't know, I gave it like a 6 out of 10. I was like, I was going to bite him on the nose. I was like, what are you talking about?
That hair on Bill
unbelievable.
Murray? Ernie McCracken? Come on.
Now,
Single Moms charity?
Does Dumb and Dumber still hold up if you were to pull it out and run it today?
I think we've watched it and they weren't blown away.
Jeez.
The Great Outdoors they liked.
There's some funny part, man, when with the bear.
Yeah.
Was it the bat gets into the cabin?
Bat. Yep.
Yeah. God, I love John Candy.
So good.
What a beautiful man. Love that guy.
Do Uncle Buck.
I wondered about Uncle Buck. Yeah.
Yeah, Uncle Buck.
Ace Ventura?
Did that one already. Again.
Tell me they like that, please.
They were okay with it. They were.
Wayne's World, you got no chance. It's too much pop culture references from the 90s.
And you know what I think it is now? It's almost like kids can't do movies because of TikTok and that.
Yes.
I can't. How long is this? An hour and 40 minutes. What?
Is there a 30-second version?
Yeah. Can I just watch the trailer?
Yeah. Everything's Cole's notes. Yeah.
God. Kids today.
You know what? To hell with them. I'm going to shut all the screens off. There's no.
That's what you do, Rent.
Oh, now he's mad.
So what do you do when there's
Punishment.
what do you do there in Buffalo? Because there's a travel ban. So what do you do today?
Well, there's no one on the road, so if you go rip roaring and whipping nuts on the road, and it's a lot of fun.
Whipping nuts.
Small town.
You got a snowmobile. You're probably king of the county right now.
Yeah, it would be, right? There'd be guys whipping around on snow machines.
Curtis Brown and I owned snow machines when I played here, and they had a massive snowstorm. The problem was we couldn't get to the damn things.
In storage somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's not very smart.
Not ideal. Yeah. Couldn't ride the snow machine. Why is it too much snow?
Too much snow. Couldn't get there.
Too much snow. Couldn't.
I'm going to make ribs and a brisket, though. I'm going to.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Mm-hmm.
So you allowed to go to the grocery store? Or is that full? No.
I went yesterday. Like people here get it.
They're ready.
They're like, all right, well, and it's
just a perfect place here. They're all doomsdayers, just to a very, very small degree, right?
Yeah, I don't know that they just realize they've been through this before.
Yeah,
and again, this isn't as much as last Christmas. Like,
yeah, it's only 3 or 4 feet, not 10. Already pummeled.
Yeah, that's in areas that have already been pummeled by snow. Good choice. Okay. Good choice. Buffalo. Always.
He said that a lot in Arizona. Did you pick up on that, Dean?
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
It was a lot of, Buffalo, huh?
You know why I don't live in Arizona right now? Because Chuck Kobuser is an idiot.
Okay.
Oh.
Is there anything to...
He's a real estate agent there.
Realtor Chuck in 2019 told me, I think prices are a little high right now. I'd wait it out.
Nope.
You moron.
Yeah.
I'd have only doubled my money by now. Idiot. Thanks, Chuck.
How's the housing market in Calgary? Because I feel like you may as well just sell this house that you have here.
You want it?
I don't know that anyone on the show is in the snack bracket to buy that home. It backs onto a lake.
Yeah, we would need to work out some sort of a payment schedule. And I'm dying soon, so...
Are you? Did you get that news?
Yeah.
See, I believed you the first time you told me that. That was like 10 years ago, you bastard. I'm not falling for that one again.
No, I'm dying soon. It was, I think the doctor was like, I have some bad news to share with you. Is that that's the bad news? Dude.
That sounds great.
Fine. Thanks. Appreciate
your blood type is ragu. You have 2 weeks to live.
Leafs in town tomorrow.
Stupid Leafs.
The return of Brad Treliving.
There'll be many a word.
Will he be booed? Somebody asked, will there be a montage? Will there be some sort of a stand up and clappity clap thing?
For sure. Has to be.
I don't know if it's a for sure. There could be. I would think there might be one. I can't think of any comparables. Like if Pittsburgh rolls through Toronto, are they giving Dubas the thing? I don't know.
Listen, stay classy, Calgary.
That's right. We do it differently here.
Yeah.
In fairness, yeah, Toronto.
It'd be
probably
pretty
they're not
funny.
gonna do that.
They take the cameras, they pan up to the press box, and it's like, oh, there's Brad, and he gives the wave, and then you're like, oh, there's the Flames scratches. There's Huberdeau. Oh dear, right beside each other.
Or they scan the banners and then just stop at an empty spot. Oh, is that where that? Okay, yeah. Well.
Dubas didn't get it. There in the comments, if that's correct.
And you know what? That's probably the right move because they would have booed the shit out of him. Toronto would have booed Dubas for sure.
And I get it. Like they didn't do a lot of the playoffs, but that was how many years in a row over 100-point seasons? Like 5.
Yeah. So
it wasn't like a bad job. They just never finished the job.
Good teams. No playoff success.
Tough trophy to win, eh?
It is, yeah.
Tough trophy.
Again, only one team wins it.
No, what about this year though?
Well, check with Gary.
No, we got that memo. Check your email.
Yeah.
Well, they've got the best on best this year. Don't they hand it out for that?
It's next year, next winter.
Is it best on best this year?
Next year.
Yeah.
I'm actually very excited about that.
Who are you talking to?
Me?
He's looking for the email about how many cups are going to give away this year.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Yeah, I'm looking here.
Let us know when you find it, Dean. That would be helpful.
Yeah. No.
So given 2 or 3, I think they should add at the deadline.
Sure. Did you miss Huberdeau last night?
Who?
Huberdeau.
Did he play?
That'll do it.
Talk to you tomorrow, folks.
Tomorrow is Thursday, game day, helmets. See you, buddies.
Quick note, Walker Dewar on waivers.
Oh, is it Coronado time, friends? Is it Pelche time?
Oh, but
good
catch.
catch there.
That's
Thank you,
wonderful,
Jacko.
Pelche Coronado. But
well, that's what I was looking for, and I didn't have it from a reliable.
We did a lot of Walker Dewar last year.
Said it last night.
Talked about it last night.
And he makes almost nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's like, hey, you make 8-10, like come play for Anaheim for a year, like something like that. I wouldn't be surprised. But at this point, he's redundant. They've got Klapkas and Pedersons, and Dewar can't be better than Greer or Dubé or Ruzicka. Here we are.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad I didn't buy that Dewar jersey.
I said last night we were buying jerseys, we were yelling his name, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then he got married and he can't play.
Cautionary tale.
It is a bit of a it sucks. It's unfortunate. Now again, what was the highest ceiling?
The bar
Probably
was
about
low.
where he was being an impactful bottom 6 guy.
Stayed and hit.
But he wasn't close to even that. So
I wonder if we don't see Huberdeau again, if we don't see a Dubé back to the 4th line, Coronado airlifted into the top 9. You don't want that guy playing 4th line minutes. Let's go. Let's go. Top line Coronado. Let's go.
Sure.
Right shot shooters, Dean. Right
You
wingers.
know what? That reference we just made, that speaks to what used to be funny. Remember that show? What was it called?
Home
That
Improvement.
was Home Improvement.
Yeah, right? Like people dying laughing to watch.
And like Pam Anderson had the 2 belts on. You're like, I see how they got their ratings.
Yeah.
Tight tops.
Pam was hot.
Binford Tools.
Mm-hmm.
She was hot. And loved boating.
That neighbor was a bit of an asshat. I didn't like the neighbor. Always hiding behind the
Arrogant.
hedge.
That guy doesn't know it all, that neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Quit looking over the fence into my yard, you creep.
Get out of here.
What are you doing all the time? Trying to look at my wife? Like, what are you doing? Bugger off.
It's like living next door to Rob Ray.
That's right. Although it looked like it was maybe the other way around when somebody's taking video of Rob Ray topless.
Well, you get to view that. That's a special sighting right there. That's like you found an extinct species.
It's quite the upper.
I wish it was
body.
extinct.
Hey, Jack.
Hello.
Can
Why
I
don't you
end
head
the
home?
show now, or you got other shit you gotta just jump
Come on,
in
Jack.
on?
No, I got nothing. That's it. Let's
At
wrap it
home,
up.
it's ride.
Yeah, why did you even go in today? The roads are treacherous.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, Walker. We loved you.